Hello everyone, welcome to whatifissei become the strongest being in Multiverse Season 1 Part 1. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. Please tell me if there is any translation mistake in comment section. Chapter 1. The Haidu are a normal family with only 5 people. Despite that, there is one member in the family who takes a lot of importance, and that is Issei Haidu. The reason is because he is the only one with black hair. His parents did not explain it to him, which is why they distanced him from childhood. His 2 brothers did the same, the eldest being Hiro and his sister Asami. Years passed and this was Issei's life. One day his brothers took 2 friends, a redhead and a blackhead. They went to the family's house very often until one day. Rias, Hiro and Asami tell me, do you believe in the supernatural? The 2 brothers looked at each other and just shook their heads in denial. And his parents were the same. Sona. They would believe us if we told them we were demons. The whole family opened their eyes, but before anyone spoke, the 2 girls came forward and took out their wings, surprising the family. A few seconds passed until they left the shock. Hiro. Wow, that's great. Asami. Yes, but why do they tell us? Sona began to tell them about the supernatural and the sacred gear, leaving them surprised. Rias. Guys, think of the strongest thing you can think of. That's what they both focus on. Issei did it too to see if something happened. At that Hiro summons a gauntlet, leaving both of them surprised. Then they saw that Asami summoned something too. The katana that gave a lot of power. Asami. What is this? Hiro. Yes. Sona. Hiro's thing is the boostier gear where the soul of the red dragon emperor drag is. And Asami's is a katana that has rarely been seen. They say that it can harm even the gods if you manage to master it well. The 2 brothers were happy and their parents would be proud. The 2 girls too. That's when someone speaks. Issei. Because nothing came out for me. She said it all discouraged. Everyone present looks at him. Rias. You are a normal human, you have nothing. Issei. But me too. Hiro. It was always trash looking trash. Asami. Hiro is right, what a disappointment. The parent said the same thing. Issei couldn't stand it and he went to his room to cry. A week passed and Issei was getting out of bed and went down to the kitchen. And she didn't find anyone. She went to the 2nd floor to see if the others were there but nothing. Issei goes down to the living room and doesn't sit down. Issei. My family left without me. Releasing some tears. Issei. How can they leave a 10-year-old child to survive? They didn't even leave me any money. I only have my savings, with it I will have to get ahead. Issei said it sadly. But she looks up. Issei. They left because they think I'm weak. Then I will become strong and I will show them that even a human can become someone. He said it motivated. Issei went up to his room to change. Minutes later he came down. Issei. First I will strengthen my body so I will have good resistance. Issei leaves the house and starts running. He only goes around the park about 5 times, but he still doesn't give up. Then he starts doing 5 push-ups and 5 squats and 5 sit-ups. When he returned home he felt very tired. Issei. It was harder than I thought, but I have to start with something. Since my family is gone I better turn off all the power. Although we are close to winter I will endure. Issei went to the basement and turned off the power, leaving the house in darkness, and turned off the water heater. Issei went up to the bathroom. It was dark and he got into the shower, bathing with cold water, shouting loudly, but he still held on. The next day Issei woke up all sore, but he still left the house to follow his routine. Issei. It's cold, but this will help me increase my resistance. I must get ahead, I will show that I am strong. Issei told himself that to keep going. A year passed. Issei was already 11 years old. His body had taken shape. He could run 10 kilometers without getting tired and do 30 of each of the exercises. At home he got used to the cold since he didn't have heating. He ate only vegetables since it was cheaper. It was summer and Issei was running towards the forest since she wanted to practice her strength and increase it. Already deep in the forest she looked for small logs to start. Issei. I must start with something. If I manage to destroy these tricks, I will look for bigger ones until I can break a rock. Issei felt motivated. His hair was down to his neck since he had no one to cut it. At that Issei begins to hit the logs with great force. He does not destroy them until the 4th attempt, surprising himself and putting on a smile. And so he continued until he destroyed everything he had. Although his hand was red from trying so hard. While he was returning to the house he saw that they had thrown away some boxing and karate books and others. Issei took all the books and took them home. When he arrived he began to look at them. Issei. I must learn something. I can't only depend on strength, that would make me easily lose to my enemies for not knowing anything. Issei starts with 1 and casts the poses he has in the book until he manages to learn a little. Days passed and Issei could now destroy larger logs, so he looked for a rock to start testing. When he found it, his hand began to hurt at first. But he didn't give up and it took 2 hours until he did it. Issei. My hands hurt, it's worth it. He said it with a smile while he looked at his hands that had a little blood on them. Back at the house he took a bath and had some dinner and started with another book to learn more. Little by little he could imitate well what was written there. The next day. Issei. You can tell it will be very hot, but I must resist. If I could resist the cold I could achieve this. He got up and started his routine while he ran. People greeted him, and many of them knew him, since it was rare to see a child training from such a young age. But they still motivated him, and he just smiled. At the end of his routine he was on his way to the forest, but he heard a noise not far from there. Issei out of curiosity went to see and saw something that he didn't like. He watched as a monster ate an animal. He notices and looks at Issei. Issei. That's you. Despite being so small, you are not afraid of me, I am a demon. He said it with a smile that Issei didn't like. Issei took a step back, but the demon got up and went towards Issei. Issei. Stay away. And what will you do, you're only human. Hearing that, Issei remembered how the others told him. He took a fighting pose that surprised the demon a little. But he didn't care about it afterwards, so he walked, and when he reached out his hand to grab it, Issei hit him. For a brat you have a little strength. I like food to resist, hahaha. The demon stretched out both of his hands, but he saw how Issei quickly dodged them, so he stopped playing and went to eat him. Issei hit him in weak spots since that was what he had read in the books. The demon made some moans since he was in pain, so he got serious and started attacking Issei. He barely dodged it, but he did it. The already angry demon left with everything. Issei couldn't keep up with him while he had some injuries. Issei. You are strong and I am weak, but I still will not give up, show you that humans are not weak. Issei got up and with all his strength he went against the demon and began to hit him, imagining him as a rock. Issei hit him with everything he had while the demon screamed because he was in pain. Seconds passed and Issei did not give up. The demon hit him and sent him flying, but even so the boy did not give up and got up. But the demon was not very well either. It is said that he was all beaten up. Issei still didn't give up, so he got up again and started hitting him like a boxer, giving him strong blows that the demon couldn't stop. He already felt weak. After a few minutes Issei had killed him but left him injured as well. Issei was tired, breathing quickly. He went to a tree and sat down. Issei. I don't think I did it, but this was difficult, but I still did it. He said it with a smile while he closed his eyes since he felt very weak. Chapter 2. Issei was waking up with a little pain, and he looked around and noticed that it was already night and saw that the body was no longer there. Issei got up and walked towards the house. When he arrived, he looked for the first aid kit and began to heal himself. Issei. That demon hit me really hard, good thing I learned a little about defense, otherwise I would be dead by now. The good thing is that the wounds are not very deep. Issei went to sleep the next morning. He woke up tired, but he still didn't want to stop his exercise routine, so he came out in pain. Issei. This hurts but I must overcome this test, I must break the limits that I have, and I have already taken a step by seeing a demon defeated, but I must train more. Well he ran. A year later Issei was 12, he had some scars from the fight with the demon, but they were not very noticeable. Issei could now run 20 kilometers and do 40 of each without much effort. He trained more with self-defense and destroying things with force. At night he studied because he wanted to get ahead, but being so young he couldn't pay for school, so he educates himself. Issei ate only vegetables since he grew them himself in the garden. Issei ran towards the forest like he normally did. He reached his destination and started. Meanwhile in a European country. This time I'm going to make it. He said it happily and activated a magic circle. Issei trained until a magic circle appeared near him and a girl came out. Issei was surprised and approached. Issei. Excuse me, you're fine. The girl was just looking at the surroundings and upon hearing Issei's voice she saw him. Yes. Issei. Well, you can tell me who you are. My name is Lefay Pendragon. Issei. My name is Issei. Lefay. It may sound strange but where I am. Issei. You are in Ku City. Lefay's eyes widened when he knew where he was and he got up. Lefay. How did I get here? Issei. I don't know, you're a demon. Lefay. I'm not a magician. Issei. I see, that's great. Lefay. Because you thought I was a demon. Issei. My brothers have demon friends and that's how I saw that magic circle where you came from. Lefay. I see. I need to get some rest to recover some mana to leave. Issei. Okay, goodbye. He was about to leave, but they stopped him. Issei. Something's wrong. Lefay. Can you keep me company, it's scary to be alone. Issei just gave a smile and sat down and she does the same. Lefay. Tell me what you're doing here alone. Issei. I have been training for a long time. Lefay. You don't get bored. Issei. I don't do it for a reason. Lefay. And that would be. Issei. I want to show my brothers that despite not having sacred gear like them, I can become very strong. Lefay. I see, and why your brothers don't help you. Issei. My family left 2 years ago, I live alone so I train alone to break my limits and show that even a human can reach the top. Lefay was surprised because she heard that her family left him, but she still looks at Issei calmly. Lefay? It doesn't bother you that they left you. Issei. The truth is, not since I can remember they never talked to me so I got used to it. Lefay. And you're not afraid of being alone, tell me you eat the way you do to live. Issei. At first I was a little afraid, but I put it aside and eat vegetables that I grow myself and well I live in the house I just disconnected all the power and the water heater. Lefay. You don't get cold at night or in winter. Issei. I won't lie to you at the beginning, yes, but now I'm fine, I'm used to it. Lefay. I see. At that she looks at Issei's hands and is surprised since she saw them injured. Lefay. Your hands don't hurt. Issei. No, I'm used to it. Lefay. If you want I can heal those scars. Issei. It would be great but no thanks. Lefay. Because. Issei. I train every day and my hands always end up like this. It would be a waste of your magic if you do. Lefay. I understand. Issei. Tell me Lefay, what were you doing to get here? Lefay. I want to learn magic since my brother left home a long time ago and I want to go look for him, but I'm still weak. Issei. I see, I know that training will help. Lefay. Yes I see that things are going well for you. Issei. Don't lose hope if everything takes time, but in the end you get the reward. Lefay. If you say it, it's fine. Well I'm ready to go. Issei. Well it was a pleasure meeting you. Lefay. I say the same, it was great. Issei. Lefay, stay strong and know that you will do great things in the future. Lefay. I say the same thing. Issei I hope we see each other in the future and be together yes. Issei. Sure. Lefay approaches Issei and places a kiss on her cheek and walks away from her with a smile as she says goodbye to her. At that she activates the magic circle and she leaves. Issei. I promise to be strong, I must achieve it. She said it with a smile and returned to her training place. While she returned to the house she was running to further increase her resistance. A year later Issei was 13. Issei was in the forest destroying rocks with just 3 hits. Issei. It's not bad. If I continue like this, I'll make it with just 1. It's been a long year, but it's already winter, although it looks cold, I don't feel anything. Issei headed towards the house, but he took a short path at that, while passing through an alley out of nowhere, an arm flew out and passed in front of her eyes. Issei jumps back at great speed while he looked at the demon. Issei. What are you doing in this city? Eat and now it's your turn. At great speed he went against Issei. Issei just got into a punching pose and when he got closer, Issei just punched him in the stomach killing him. Issei's eyes were wide at what happened. Issei. What a step, I thought it would be like the previous one, so strong, that's why I put all my strength into the blow. Maybe breaking so many stones has helped me make more progress. He said it with a smile as he went home. While he was walking he passed by a supermarket and saw that they needed employees, so Issei went in and asked in the end they ended up giving him the night job. He accepted it since it would not affect his training. A month passed and Issei trained all day and worked at night. He didn't sleep much, but it didn't affect Issei since he had a resistant body. While he trained, Issei. I should start practicing too, if I just train I won't get far. I will look for those demons and eliminate them so I can practice. He was serious that day he didn't have to work, so he bought a mask so no one would look at him. Already at night he was walking through the alleys and found 3 demons. Issei, without thinking, launched himself into the attack. The demons didn't even realize when the first blow came, killing the first demon. That's when the other 2 react and launch themselves into the attack. Issei dodged them at great speed and defended himself. In one's carelessness, Issei hit him hard, killing him. The other one got scared. What are you? He said it with fear. Issei. I'm just a human. At that he went against a demon and gave him a big blow in the face that left him dead. Chapter 3. After killing the demon, Issei was walking home, but he heard a noise and went to see. And as he did so he saw 2 men trying to do something to a better woman. Issei. What do you think you guys are doing? The other 2 saw it, and the woman took the opportunity to escape. Because of you, human, the fun escaped us. Issei. The way you talk, you're not human, you are. I am a fallen angel now you will suffer the consequences for seeing us bothered. Well he created a spear of light and launches it at Issei, but he manages to dodge it and runs at great speed and the fallen are surprised but did not react in time when Issei had already killed one. At that the other angry man runs against Issei. Issei only stretches his fist with great force that he ends up killing the fallen man. Issei. I didn't know there were other races besides demons, but it was nice to know about the supernatural. Issei headed towards the house. Years passed and Issei was already 16 years old, he earned well at work, he began to study at an academy that he paid for himself, that was a little further from Ku's academy. In those years Issei got up earlier to exercise, doing 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups and running 10 kilometers every day. Non-stop. He also ate 3 times a day, he never used the air conditioning or heating in winter. He became resistant to both cold and heat. On his rest days he went out to kill demons and some fallen people. Issei. Before, in every blow I gave I used all my strength, but now without much strength I kill them until I lost count of how many I have. Issei said it while he was in the forest training at around 6 in the morning. At that point he gets up and is in front of a large rock and with one blow he destroys it, leaving only dust. After that he headed home to go study. When he got home he ate some fruits and went up to the bathroom. To take a cold shower but for him it was nothing, he liked it, he put on his uniform and left the house heading to the academy. What Issei didn't know was that his family was returning that same day. 20 minutes before Issei returned from the academy, his family arrived and when they entered they felt great heat since it felt like summer was coming soon. Am I? Because it's so hot in here. Pi? I don't know. At that he tries to turn on the light but nothing. Pi? There is no power either. Am I? It was obvious not since we haven't been here for 6 years. Asami? Mom, it's very hot. Hero? It's true. Am I? Don't worry, her father is already talking so that he can come and connect her. Minutes passed and they were in the living room when they heard someone opening the door and they got up and saw a black-haired man enter. Pi? Hey, who are you? This house is mine, leave before I call the police. Issei. Wow, they're back. Pi? Who are you? Issei. I am Issei. Everyone had their mouths open since he had changed a lot, he had long hair and looked more mature. Issei. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll go to my room and don't worry, your rooms are as you left them. Nobody came out of the chalk, but the father spoke. Pi. But how are you still alive? Issei. Survival instinct and if they ask about electricity or hot water, cancel everything. Why because? Issei. I didn't really need it. And it's not because I didn't have money, it's because I never used any of it. If you want food there is fruit there. At that Issei went up to his room leaving everyone with their mouths closed. Asami. But since he's still alive and he looks like it's nothing. Am I? I don't know. Hero. Knowing what he did to stay alive. An hour passed and the people from the electricity company arrived and turned them on again just like the water. After a while they saw Issei get off and head to the door. Asami. Where are you going Issei? Issei. I'm going to work, see you later. And so leaving the house. Pi. That he worked. Am I? In a supermarket. Asami. How do you know, Mom? Am I? I saw a uniform lying outside with his clothes and also a lot of vegetables from what I see he likes vegetables. Pi. I see. And so the afternoon passed and dinner arrived and they saw that Issei didn't arrive so they ate without him. It was already 2 in the morning and Issei was arriving home. He alone went up to the room and his parents didn't say anything. The next day Issei got up at 4 in the morning to start his training while his sister left her room to go to the bathroom. Asami. Where are you going at this hour? Issei. Let's train goodbye. And so going down the stairs and starting your training. Time passed and when he returned it was already 6 o'clock and his family was in the kitchen. Am I? Issei, come, I'll prepare breakfast for you. Issei. No thanks. Issei took an apple and went to the bathroom. Hero. What happened here? Am I? It seems like he doesn't like my food. The others did not respond and later they saw Issei come down in his uniform. Am I? Issei, why don't you eat something? Issei. I already ate. Pi. An apple is not breakfast. Issei. For me it is. If you'll excuse me, I have to go to class. Asami. But your academy is very far from ours, you don't study at ours. Issei. I'm not fine where I am, it's a quiet place and I like to walk. So opening the door and leaving. Asami. From what I see, he continued his life as if nothing happened. Pi. Yes but we can't do anything. Hero. Let him do what he wants, he's big now, no. Am I? Yes you are right. And so the 2 brothers went to the academy. So a month passed, Issei followed his routine, which was training, studying and working, and no one changed it. He prepared his food, his mother tried, but he always refused, his brother got angry for refusing. Issei had the day off and there was no school, so he stayed in his room practicing with a new book he had bought. Someone knocks on the door. Issei. Something's wrong. Asami. Our parents are downstairs and want to talk to you. Issei. Well, I'll go in a moment. And so changing clothes and going down to the living room. Issei. Well something happens. Pi. Issei, today we called your academy and transferred you to where your brothers are. Issei. Because they did that without consulting me. Am I? It would be a surprise and it's closer to where you were before. Issei. But I liked where I was and it's the middle of the semester, it's weird. Pi. This way you can spend more time with your siblings and you can also quit your job, don't worry. Issei. I can let you pass the academy thing, but don't mess with my work, I earned it with a lot of effort. Also, I was saving, I was thinking of selling this house since they didn't come back in 6 years, I wanted to look for an apartment for myself. The parents' eyes were wide open upon hearing that. Pi. What and with what permission will you leave? Issei. Since a year ago you stopped giving me orders, they left without saying anything, and they also left without leaving any money. You think I had a good time? He said it a little angry. Well, the parents and their siblings just listened. At that Hiro stood up. Hiro. Shut up, you have no right to shout. Issei. Yes, since they're back, that makes things easier for me. I've been looking for an apartment for a long time and I found it. I'm leaving in 2 days so they can continue their lives and I can continue mine. As he turned around, Hiro was angry and wanted to hit him, but Issei stops him with one hand, squeezing it and making him scream. Asami. Issei, let it go. Issei. Of course he can hit me, but I can't defend myself. Asami was going to speak, but Issei continued. Issei. I'm leaving. And well, starting Monday I will have to attend that academy, thank you. I'll go pack. Issei goes to his room, grabs a suitcase and fills it with the clothes he had, since his room only had a bed. After that he left the room and he went to the exit without seeing anyone. Leaving everyone in great silence. I didn't expect that. Am I? But you're right, we don't have the right to talk to each other like that, he grew up alone. Asami. We let it go like this. He wanted it so don't worry he will come back. Hiro. Yes, and when he sees it I will teach him a lesson. Meanwhile Issei arrived at his new apartment, which only had a room, a bathroom and a small living room that was enough for him. He asked that the electricity be cut off and that they also put him in hot water. The owner of the apartment had a WTF face, but she still did it. Issei. I won't lie, I missed the silence. While she relaxed. Chapter 4. As he always did, Issei exercised, but when he was in the forest he realized something. Issei. I think I've reached my limit and I can't increase my strength anymore. Well, with this level I will be able to defend myself, I don't know to what extent. After that he headed home since it was his first day at Ku Academy. Some time later Issei was in front of his new classroom and as he knocked and opened it, Professor Issei gave him the paper and left him waiting. Teacher. Students, we will have a new partner. At that he calls Issei and he enters and stands in front with a smile. All the girls screamed with excitement since he was very handsome. Teacher. Silence, please introduce yourself. Issei. Hello, my name is Issei and I hope we get along. You are related to Hiro-senpai and Asami-san. Issei. Yes. Everyone looked at Asami and she confirmed. She was in the same year as Issei. Why do you come to this academy? Issei. It's closer to my house. Because you have long hair. Issei. I just let it grow, I like it. At that point they stopped asking and Issei went to his seat. Already at break time, Issei got up from his seat and took a bento out of his backpack and opened it. Those closest to him saw it and were surprised since they were only looking at vegetables, it didn't even have rice. Excuse my question, but why do you only have vegetables? Issei. I have been a vegetarian since I was little and I don't like rice. Your mom prepares that for you in the mornings. Issei. No, I live alone. Everyone listening was shocked. Issei continued eating with a smile while the others just watched and ate. And so the day passed. Issei was on his way home today. He had the day off, so he decided to go eliminate demons or fallen people. I arrive at his house and wait for it to get dark, then he takes off his mask and puts on a wig so they don't recognize him. Already on the street he begins to walk until he finds a large group. The demons rush towards him, but Issei ends up killing them all with a few blows. Issei. Well, we're done here, it's time to look for more. Issei was about to leave, but then 2 circles appear and Issei knew who he was. When people leave the circle they only see one person there and many parts of demons scattered around. Those present were surprised by what they saw. Rias. Who are you? Issei was silent. Sona. Identify yourself. Issei. I'm just a person who went out to eliminate these people who harm humans. Rias. That's impossible, you're just a human. Issei. Just because he's human doesn't mean he's weak. Sona. But how did you do it? Issei. With his fists. Well, if that's all, I'm leaving, I have to continue. Rias. It won't be like that, this is our territory. Issei. And they do take good care of him, no. Hiro. You have no right to talk like that. At that he activates his armor and at great speed goes against Issei. He only moves his elbow, destroying the armor completely and sending Hiro flying with the rest. The others had their mouths open because they saw. At that point they got into an attack position. Issei. I don't want problems, I just do my job. If you don't bother me, I won't do it, okay? Sona. I'm sorry but. It didn't end as some of Ria's entourage moved and went to attack. Issei only dodged them and hit them on the back of the head, leaving them all unconscious in a few seconds. Issei moves at great speed to where Ria's is and does the same. He looks at Sona and does the same with his entourage, and only she is left. Issei. I'm a patient person, but I don't like people attacking me for anything. When the others wake up, just tell them that I only eliminate the bad demons, but if you attack me I will respond okay. Sona just nodded her head and Issei walked out of the building, leaving a trembling Sona because of what happened a while ago. Minutes passed and everyone began to wake up. Asami. What happened? I didn't even feel the blow. Rias. That damn one will pay me. Sona. I don't think we should mess with Rias. Rias. Because you say so. Sona. He told me that he only eliminates the renegades, and if we don't mess with him he won't do anything to us, but if we bother him, no. Rias. And you will listen to him. Sona. Yes, and I will do it because I don't want to get into trouble. Rias. I'll call my brother to inform you, you should do the same. Sona. Yes, I will do it when we return to the academy, we will do it. Rias just nods and both entourages went to the academy to the occult club. They called their brothers and within an hour they arrived. Surzich. Rias, what's the matter with the urgency? Serafal. Yes. Rias. You better watch it. At that Rias puts a hologram where they had gone and where Issei was and when Hero attacked him and how Issei destroyed his armor with one hit. The two leaders were surprised to see that. And they also saw how he knocks out the entire group in an instant. And that's where it all ends. Surzich. I see. Sona. I have something too. Sona puts up a hologram where Issei spoke to her and everyone could hear what he said. Serafal. Sona, from what I see, he is not a bad person. Surzich. It's true, but what surprises me is that he's just a human, that's interesting. Serafal. Sure, we have to talk to him one of these days. While Issei was at work and sneezed. Rias. Oni-sama, you won't do anything. Surzich. But he hasn't done anything wrong, he only kills the renegades, no. Rias. Yes, but he attacked Hero and everyone. Serafal. That answer is obvious, you didn't attack him the way you responded. Rias. Likewise. Surzich. Yes, so leave him alone and if you see him, just talk to him, okay? And don't bother him, much less your Rias, I know what you are like. Rias. What do you think I'll do? Surzich. Force him to join your peerage perhaps. Rias just clicked her tongue. Serafal. This also goes for you Sona, he is dangerous. Sona. I know when he was in front of me I felt great pressure. Surzich. So much. Sona. I felt like a big rock was squeezing my entire body. Serafal. I understand but if you see him again, tell him we want to talk to him. Rias. Because. Serafal. Well, you also have to pay him for eliminating all those renegades. Rias. It's not fair. Surzich. Yes it is. Even if he doesn't ask for anything, he deserves it. And it's also good to have a good friendship, okay? The other two just nodded and the leaders left. Asami. Phew, I didn't expect this. Hero. When I see him I'll kill him. That's when the glove appears. Greg. That would be impossible for you. Hero. What do you mean? Greg. When that person hit you I could feel that he didn't even use 10% of his power. Everyone was surprised by that small number. Rias. It's so strong. Greg. I don't know, I just know that that person is a monster and I don't know what kind of training he had there. Hero. I'll still beat him, I have your power. Greg just gave a big sigh and didn't say anything else since he never listens to him like the others present. When they heard that from Drake the two heiresses became more interested in Issei and they loved him no matter what. Without knowing that when they see the person in the mask they will get a big surprise. Chapter 5. Issei was at home, he didn't have work that day, so he decided to go for a walk. It was around 6 in the afternoon. On her walk she arrived at a park and sat on a bench. Issei. What good weather, this has been a peaceful day. The only bad thing was that I had to knock out those two entourages, I hope I don't get in trouble with the mass. While I closed my eyes a few seconds passed as Issei's mother passed by. Am I? So you live here? Issei opens his eyes and looks at her for a moment. Issei. Not only did I go out for a walk and this place seemed quiet, just that. Am I? Because you don't just go back home and stop lying. Issei. I'm fine so I'm used to loneliness. Am I? You feel resentful for having left you years ago. Issei. If I felt that way I would have just called the police and they would have sent me to another family. But I better decide to get ahead on my own. If that's all I'm leaving, have a good afternoon. He gets up from the bench and leaves, leaving her mother there alone. Issei was walking through the streets when she heard a noise and she headed there when she was about to enter. She saw that he appreciated Sona's entourage, so she decided to leave. When she was about to do it she heard screams since the renegade was stronger than them. Issei without thinking twice decides to enter and sees some injured people and Sona creating a shield for the others. He approaches her. Issei. I see you're having a hard time. Sona turns around and is surprised to see Issei just like her sister. Sona. What are you doing here? Issei. I was walking around here and I heard a noise and well here I am. Asami. Get out of here, this place is dangerous. Issei. I can see it, but you guys can't handle no. Sona. Go now. Issei ignored him and started walking slowly towards the demon. The food came by itself. Just walking, the demon got angry and attacked Issei. He only understood the fist. He ended up killing him, leaving the Citri entourage with their mouths open. Sona. How did you do that? Issei. I just defended myself against him. Sona. You're that boy from last time, no. Issei. What's the point of denying it? The whole group was impressed as he was very strong. Sona. But since you are so strong, I don't feel any power in you. Issei. Training. Saji. It's impossible for a human to do that. Issei. You mean that humans are destined to be weak forever? Saji. They have a limit to reach. Issei. There are the words, surpass yourself until you no longer have power. Asami. But how did you get to that level? Issei. Training if that's all I'm leaving. He was walking towards the exit. Sona. You can come to the student council tomorrow, the mass want to talk to you. Issei. What do they want from me? Sona. They want to pay you for eliminating the renegades. Issei. I don't do this for money. Sona. But they want to see you, could you? Issei. It's okay, I don't want future problems. He leaves everyone there. Tsubaki. Kaicho, he doesn't have bad intentions, right? Sona. Yes, but I felt that he doesn't like me very much, so to speak. Tsubasa. Because. Sona. He is Asami's brother. The entourage looked at her and she just nodded. Momo. But because she doesn't like him. Sona. I knew him when he was little and, well, we insulted him a little because we told him that he was just a human. Asami. If he is also the same with my family, we haven't left since we were little to go train. Saji. They left a child alone, I'm surprised he's still alive. Asami. Maybe when we returned home there was no electricity or hot water, there were only vegetables and a few fruits. Tsubaki. I didn't have to eat. Asami. He said that he worked and since he was little he ate only that, my mother prepared other meals for him, but he only ate his own. Nobody said anything and they better left. The next day Issei was walking towards the student council, knocking on the door and passing by as he entered he saw that the two entourage and two more people were there. Hero. What is he doing here? Sona. He is that person. Ria's entourage was surprised. Ria's. You're not kidding. Sona. No. Issei. Let's finish this quickly, I have to go to work later. Surzich. So you are Haidu Issei. Issei. Only Issei, my family took away my last name. Those present were surprised. Surzich. Well tell me how you managed to eliminate the renegades so quickly. Issei. I trained for years. Serafal. But it's impossible. Issei. For a human to go this far, I hear those words very often every time. Serafal. But how did you do it? Issei. Since he was 10 years old, he trained every day with squats, chest squats, running, etc. He started little by little, cutting off the electricity and water in order to accustom his body to the high temperatures, both hot and cold. Sona. That sounds very heavy. Issei. And it is, the first week was torture, my bones cracked, but I recovered, I ate healthy, I exercised every day without fail, whether trained or anything. Serafal. Because you did all that. Issei. When the two of them arrived at the house they told about the supernatural, I was even more surprised by what was beyond my imagination. Also, my brothers had sacred gear, I wanted to know if I had it too, and well the answer was no. And also that he was just a weak and useless human. The two mass only saw their sisters, and they avoided their gaze. Issei. I felt bad so I went to my room to cry until I fell asleep. After a while they left and left me. I promised myself to be a strong person and show that humans can overcome. Without having anything special. Issei removes the gloves from her hands, and everyone saw that she had scars. Serafal. What happened to you? Issei. As a result of my training, every day I hit rocks until they destroyed them. Serafal. We can remove those scars. Issei. No thanks, this means that my work paid off. Surzich. How strong you are. Issei. I don't know, I just know that I reached my limit recently. Surzich. You mean you can't get any stronger? Issei. Maybe so. Serafal. And if you become a demon, you can overcome that limit. Issei. I'm fine so if I die it will be as a human. Surzich. Because getting so far when you can improve more. Issei. I will show that despite being human we can fight the supernatural. Hero. You're stupid, you're just human. Issei. That's right, but I am proudly not like you who left by proxy. She said it with a serious face. Riaz. Without power you are nothing in this world. Issei. Yes, it's true, but if you set your mind to improving, you can go far. Riaz. I will give you the honor of joining my peerage. Issei. I'm fine like this. Rias. How about this if Hiro and Kaneko win, you join my group? Issei. No. Hiro. You're scared. Issei. No, but I don't feel like fighting. Hiro got angry. Hiro. It's because of fear that you don't do it. Issei. No, but if you insist so much, let's do this quickly, I have things to do. Rias. Well, let's go behind the school. They all headed off to go to the fight. The leaders were curious about their strength, so they went too. Chapter 6. Everyone was outside the building and Issei's two opponents were ready. Hiro activates his armor and Kaneko puts on his gloves. Rias. You won't wear anything. Issei. I don't want anything. He gets into a boxer's pose. At that point they give the start signal and Hiro launches into the attack. Issei quickly avoids him by giving him a kick that sends him flying into the forest. Kaneko approaches him and gives him a big punch in the stomach and thought he would give up when he sees Issei. Kaneko. Because you're so calm, it didn't hurt. Issei. A little. At that Issei steps back. Kaneko could only see a fist facing her, but it didn't hit her. She fainted from the shock. Those present were surprised. Serafal. Wow, I beat her without touching her. Hiro arrived at Issei at great speed, thinking that he would hit him, but Issei just turned around, destroying his helmet and leaving him unconscious on the ground. Issei. Phew, it's a good thing I held back a little longer if it hadn't been tragic. Sona. Wait, you held back. Issei. A little good, that's all. I have work to do, goodbye. Surzich. We came to tell you that we were going to pay you for eliminating the renegades. Issei. I don't need it, I already have a job, and if I kill them it's so that they don't hurt the humans. Issei takes his way. Rias sends Asia to see if you're not hurt. Rias. Well. Asia. They're just unconscious, they don't have any injuries. A few minutes passed and Kaneko woke up suddenly. Hiba. What's wrong, Kaneko? Kaneko was shaking a little. Kaneko. When he was about to hit me the only thing I saw was a huge rock so tall without end. His strength is monstrous. They were surprised by those words. Rias. But Kaneko, you are strong too. Kaneko. Not at that level, I will never reach that level. Sona. Because. Kaneko. He would have to train for years without stopping, and even then I don't know if he would reach his limit. Serafal. Everyone, relax, now we know what he's capable of. Surzich. You can see that he has worked hard to reach that level. Serafal. Yes, but he is humble, he doesn't stop being that strong, unlike some. Surzich. Yes, others would gladly accept the money. Those present after a moment began to retire to the house. Meanwhile Issei was on his way home thinking. Issei. The good thing is that everything ended well in the end. Now that I remember how hard Lefay opened up. With a smile. Issei. I hope you kept your promise, haha. Meanwhile in an unknown place. Lefay, it's time to go. Lefay. I'm on my way, Kuroka-sama. Leaving his room. Kuroka. Because you study and train so much if you're already strong. Lefay. Years ago I made a promise with someone else and I promised to be strong just like him. Kuroka. I didn't know that and how strong he is. Lefay. I don't know, when I met him he had a lot of injuries on his hands from training so much. Kuroka. He is a human. Lefay. Yes, but he was very strong, with his own hands he destroyed the rocks. Kuroka. He is surprising despite being a human. Lefay. Someday I will see him and show him how strong I am. Then that they go with the others. The next day at the academy. Issei was leaving on his way to the house, he was passing near the occult club and out of nowhere a large fireball hit him. Issei receives it fully after a few seconds he leaves the fire. Issei. Cough cough, but what's going on there for them to throw this away? At that point he walks towards there with his clothes a little burned. A few minutes later he arrives and opens the door and sees how Hiro was held by the neck. Those present see Issei and are surprised by how he is. Issei. Hey, please don't throw fire outwards, they may attract a lot of attention. Kaneko. How come you are alive even though he gave you? Issei. He was hot. I say it with a poker face. And what is a filthy human doing here? Issei. I just came to tell you, you see, they burned my clothes. And who cares about that? Issei. Ami, I can't go home with my clothes like that. Well, how about I finish the work? At that he throws Hiro and creates another fireball, throwing it towards Issei. Everyone thought that he would be dead by now. Issei. Do you want to cause a fire? Coming out of the fire without a shirt surprising everyone as well as Razer. Razer? What the hell are you? Issei. Like you said, I'm only human. Razer. That's impossible, a human would be dead by now. Issei. That's how things are. An angry Razer summons his entourage and sends a girl with a staff. She goes at Issei at great speed, but when she hits him with the staff he is destroyed. Surprising the girl and the rest, Issei doesn't say anything and just stands there. Afterwards a magic circle appears leaving Graphia and looks at everything in amazement. Graphia. What happened here? Nobody spoke. Issei. That boy over there and this girl with that cane attacked me, I didn't do anything to them. Grafia just took a look at Issei and saw that he was burned. Issei. I don't know much, but I know that if a demon attacks a human he would be punished, no. Grafia. How do you know that? Issei. And I got a lot of information from some old friends. And they will do well. Grafia. I must consult with Surzich-sama on this. Razer. This is impossible, they will listen to a filthy human. Grafia. He's right, they can't hurt humans, this is serious, Razer-sama. Razer got angry and looked at Issei with an angry face. Issei. Well, I hope they solve it well, I'm leaving. Grafia. You can't go yet. Wait a few minutes while Surzich-sama comes. Issei just nods and sits on a couch to wait without making any noise when someone approaches him. How are you still alive? From what I see, you are only human. Issei. Train miss. My name is Ravel Phoenix. Issei. It's a pleasure, Issei. While she understood her hand with a smile, Ravel took it a little red. Ravel. Did you use magic or something? Issei. I didn't use anything, it was lucky that I'm still alive haha. Ravel. Because you didn't defend yourself. Issei. If I did it it would only cause more problems, it's better to do it peacefully. Ravel. I understand. Issei. It seems that you are a good person. Ravel. Because you say so. Issei. Because you are talking to me without being arrogant like the other demons. Ravel. My parents taught me to be polite to anyone. Issei. I see, but your brother is different, no. Ravel. How do you know that he is my brother? Issei. Simple, they have somewhat similar traits. Ravel. Well, he thinks he is the most powerful of all. Issei. I see. Just then Surzich appears and Grafia explains the situation to him. Surzich. So it was your Issei. Grafia. You know him, Surzich-sama. Surzich. Not much. Issei. I just want to finish this quickly and go home. Surzich. They already explained everything to me, but it is something difficult to resolve. Issei. Because. Surzich. He belongs to a powerful family. Razer put on a big smile of victory. Issei. So you tell me that he can do whatever he wants and nothing will happen to him. Surzich. A little, but yes. Issei. I don't agree with this, I can't let him hurt other humans just for his pleasure. Surzich. And what do you want to do? Issei. I challenge him to a battle. Chapter 7. Razer. Hahaha, maybe you're crazy, you don't know who I am. I am Razer Phoenix, I am an immortal being. Issei. Who cares about that? Surzich. Are you sure of this? Issei. Yes. Surzich. And what do you want if you win? Issei. May he never return to the human world. Everyone present had their eyes wide open until Grafia. Razer. For my own good, and if I win I will kill you like the filthy human that you are. Issei without thinking twice. Issei. I accept. Surzich when the meeting can be. Surzich. Because. Issei. This is how I ask for leave at work. Surzich had an anime style sweat drop. Surzich. It will be this Saturday in 2 days, both of you agree. Razer. Sure. Without giving it importance. Issei. Yes, and where would it be? Surzich. In the Underworld. Issei. How will I get there? Surzich. Grafia is going to bring you. Issei. Good. At that Issei takes the address out of him and gives it to Grafia then leaves. Surzich. Good with that settled. Riaz. Oni-sama and what will happen to my marriage? Surzich. We'll see about that later. And so leaving after that, Razer leaves, leaving the club alone. 2 days passed and it was already night, Issei was out the window ready. In his combat clothes. Just then Grafia arrives and was surprised by how serious he looked and the clothes he was wearing. Grafia. Are you sure to go? Issei. Yes, and if I die it will be for a good cause. He said it with a smile. Grafia just nodded and they left. They arrived at the Underworld. They were in a room. Surzich. You are ready. Issei. Yes. Surzich. He won't be an easy opponent to deal with, you know. Issei. I won't lie, I feel a little excited, I have time not to fight with someone strong. Surzich. Seriously. Issei. All my opponents die when they receive the first hit. Surzich was surprised. Just then they make the announcement and Issei enters with a serious face. In the VIP room were the 4 mass and the 2 families. Serafal. I feel really excited. Ajuka. I don't know what I'm doing here, I should be sleeping. Falbius was just sleeping. Surzich. It will be interesting, you know. Lord. My son will beat him, he's only human. Serafal. You may get a big surprise. At that Grafia speaks. Grafia. Well, let's begin. At that Razer takes out his wings and starts creating fireballs and throws them at Issei. Issei just dodged them. And he started to run, suddenly he made a big jump, destroying the ground and hitting Razer in the stomach, making him spit out a lot of blood and fall to the ground. Then the VIP room. Lady. How did he do that? Lord. Who is he? Then Alana. Surzich, what kind of power does he have? Surzich. None. Zeoticus. How is that possible? Seraphol. It's pure physical strength. Bajuka. Interesting. The other half saw and continued sleeping. In the fight Razer got up all in pain. Razer. You damn. He goes against Issei at full speed. Issei only extends his fist and hits him in the face, destroying half of his face. Razer was just screaming in pain. Lady. What kind of monster is he? Lord. Lucifer Sama stop this. Surzich. I can't do anything until one of us gives up. Lady. But you didn't see what that boy did. Seraphol. He defended himself that he wants him to make him stand still. Razer slowly healed himself, creating a large fireball and throwing it at Issei. The only thing Issei did was put on a smile and give a round of applause. With great force he created a large vestica that destroyed the sphere of fire, leaving everyone surprised. Issei, without wasting any more of his time, began to walk. Razer was all scared. Razer. What are you? Issei. Just a human. Razer. Impossible, a human cannot have that much power. Issei. Yes it is if you train hard. Razer moved away every time Issei got closer. At that Razer, all scared, got on his knees and lowered his head. Razer. I give up. He said it with fear. Issei stopped and returned to the waiting room to be taken home. Everything was very silent and some were surprised. Ajuka. That boy is on another level. Halbiud. You're right it has power. He woke up and saw that with a shocked face. Then Alana. Riaz, he is part of your entourage. Riaz. He doesn't want to. Zeoticus. Because. Seraphol. He simply doesn't trust Riaz or Sona. Then Alana. Because. The girls were a little scared. Surzich. They both humiliated him as a child for that. The parents were surprised. Then Alana. Because they did that. Riaz. He didn't have power or anything like he was going to have someone like that. Zeoticus. And now that he has it, if they want it, no. Surzich. Well let's put this aside. Rafia goes to Issei and takes him to his house. Rafia just nods and heads off. Lady. Because he doesn't come here to take the reward he must have asked for something. Surzich. The only thing he asked was that Razer never go to the human world. Lord. Because that. Surzich. Issei doesn't want Razer to hurt humans like he did to him. Lady. Really, I see. Seraphol. They didn't realize it. Then Alana. Of what? Ajuka. That boy held back too much. Sona. What does he mean? Ajuka. With each blow I noticed that he stopped. Lord. As is possible from how I saw those blows were monstrous. Ajuka. And they are, but with all his power I couldn't say what he would be able to do. Zeoticus. Surzich that boy is an ally. Surzich. I couldn't say, he fights more for humans than for any other reason. Then Alana. Having two people tactlessly reject him. It's normal that he only supports them. Ajuka. If it's true, his enemies are damned if they make him angry. Seraphol. Yes. Lies so much Issei returned to his house. Issei. Thank you for everything. Rafia. It's nothing, I just follow orders. After the fight I saw him and he looked a little exhausted. Issei. He realized it. Well he scratched the back of his neck. Rafia. Because he was him. Issei. I thought it would give me more of a fight since you told me I was strong, I got a little excited haha. Rafia. He held back. Issei. A little if he hadn't killed him and he didn't want to get in trouble. Rafia. If he wants strong people because he doesn't take missions from Surzich Sama he will find strong people. Issei. It sounds good, but I can't accept it. Rafia. Because. Issei. I have a job and studies. Rafia. They would pay you well for it. Issei. I'll think about it, give me time and when I decide, who should I call? Rafia. Here. He gives him a phone number so he says goodbye and leaves. Issei. Maybe I should accept so maybe I could overcome my limits. I'll talk to my boss tomorrow. He went to rest for the next day. The next morning Issei arrived with his daily routine and in the afternoon he went where his boss asked for his resignation with a smile, he accepted it without problems and his colleagues gave him a great farewell, he was very loved in the place. The next day in the afternoon she was leaving the academy and made the call. In the underworld. Rafia. Yes. Issei. I accept when I start. Rafia. I'll pass it on to Surzich Sama. Just then she knocks on the door and Surzich was with Seraphol. Surzich. Something's wrong Rafia. Rafia. You have a call. At that she gives him the phone. Surzich. Who speaks? Issei. This is Issei, I agree to do missions. Surzich was surprised and Rafia gives him a brief summary. Surzich. I understand, tell me, do you have time now to come to the underworld? Issei. Yes. Surzich. Well Rafia will go for you. At that she hangs up and they go to bring Issei. Chapter 8. Issei was in her apartment waiting for them to arrive. A few seconds passed and Rafia arrived. She was a little surprised by her clothing, but she didn't say anything and they went to the underworld. When he arrived she quickly guided him to the office, they knocked and they let him in. Upon doing so the two masks were surprised. Serafal. That suit looks great on you, Issei. She blushed a little because of how she looked. Issei. Thank you very much. Sirzich realizes something. Sirzich. I didn't know you used a sword. Issei. I know a little bit, it's good to learn everything. Sirzich. I see. Issei. Yes, tell me what you want to tell me. Sirzich. Well, since you decided to do the missions you will have to travel a little for it. Issei. No problem for me. Serafal. Issei, why did you decide to accept this? At that Issei walks and catches his breath. Issei. I want to know my limit and if I can break it by fighting strong people. Serafal. I understand, it's understandable. Sirzich. Well, you'll have to go to Kobe, many renegade demons have been reported. Issei. I see, I can ask a favor before I leave. Sirzich. Tell us, we'll do what we can. Issei. You can prevent me from being expelled from the academy since I will be absent for a long time. Serafal. Don't worry, we'll do it. Issei. Well, take me to a train station and I'll do my job. Sirzich. Good. At that he calls a guard and they take him to the human world. Serafal. You think he'll do well? Sirzich. We won't know until he comes back, don't you think? Serafal just nodded and left for his castle. While Issei had already arrived at the train station, a few minutes passed and I bought his ticket and boarded the train, and all he had to do was wait. Issei. It will be a long trip, I hope there won't be too many problems. The next day at the academy, Sona was in her office signing papers and a magic circle appears. Sona. Nasama, who brings you here? Serafal. I come to tell you to give Issei days off. Sona. Because. Serafal. He had a mission and won't be back for a while. Sona was surprised as was her entourage. Sona. But since he is a human and he can already have missions and I can't. Serafal. This type of mission is dangerous for you and he is truly strong. Asami. They still think we are weak, no. Serafal. I won't lie to you, it's true that so many years have passed and they haven't improved much. The entourage said nothing. Serafal. That's just what I was coming for, I have work to do, have a good day. She left, leaving a silence. Sona. You're partly right. Asami. In that kaicho. Sona. We didn't train much in all these years. Asami. Yes, we left for so many years and we didn't gain much. There was another great silence, then they better stop talking about the subject and continued with their own. Meanwhile Issei had already arrived at his destination, many people looked at him strangely because of his kimono-like clothing. But for young women it was very different. Issei walked through the streets. Issei. It's a big city, I'd better look for a taxi. She walked the streets looking for one until she found him, and one gave her the address. Sir, this place is in the forest. Issei. I see, but you can take me there. Yes, no problem, but it will be a little expensive. Issei. Don't worry, let's go. At that they both got into the car. At the Occult Club Academy. Sona had arrived and told Riaz and she didn't take it very well, banging the table. Riaz. How is this possible if they give him an important mission and we don't? Sona. Yes, but my sister is right, we went to the underworld for so long and we didn't train enough. Riaz was feeling frustrated, but Sona was right. Riaz. I know we didn't do much. Hero. I can't accept it because he has more important things. Asami. Collimate and well we are still a little weak. Hero was going to say something when a gauntlet comes out. Greg. The truth is, it was several years and you didn't train enough, you're still weak. Hero. But if I have the power of a celestial, how is it possible? Greg. It's one thing to have it and another to master it, and that's your problem, you're lazy. Greg did not continue talking and went to sleep, leaving Hero a little angry, and he did nothing since Akeno calmed him down. Sona. I also come to inform you something important, Riaz. Riaz. And that would be. Sona. There are 2 envoys from the church who will come in the afternoon. They will come to your club. Riaz. I understand and that they are looking into demon terror. Sona just shook her head in denial and she left with her queen and Asami to her classes. Issei had already arrived at her destination and began to walk in the middle of the forest calmly. Issei. Wow, it's a nice place even though there are renegades in a place like this. As she walked she heard a voice. A human and he looks very juicy. Wait, first I want to have fun with him, he's cute. Good, but I'll eat it later. Issei. It's rude to talk about it in front of people who don't believe it. Inner doesn't talk. While they were attacking Issei took out his kanata. In a second I killed him. Issei. Wow, this katana is strong, although it is the first time I use it and it feels strange, the truth is I prefer the fists. Issei remembered something at that moment. Issei. I did everything wrong, I killed them very quickly and I couldn't get any information. He just took a breath and continued walking to see if he found any other renegades along the way. Night came and Issei decided to take a rest, so he climbed a tree. Issei. Well, I will rest here and tomorrow will continue to be a long day and the night is cool, so it makes me sleepier. At that he just closed his eyes and fell asleep for the night and woke up early, stretched and continued on his way while eating a bowl of rice. Issei. I'm tired of walking and still nothing from them. Well, he continued eating. In Ku. It was already noon and everything had gone like the original story. Irina had gone to visit the Haidu family. Irina. It's been a long time. Am I? If you have become a beautiful lady. Irina. Thank you, I had come yesterday, but it was already late and I didn't want to bother you. Just then the two brothers arrived and were a little surprised to see her in her house. Her mother left, leaving the four of them. Asami. And they haven't found anything yet. Irina. No, but before that I have a question that you didn't ask yesterday. Asami. What would it be? Irina. Where is Issei? The brothers didn't say anything. Until someone spoke. Hero. The house is gone and we don't know where it is, so it's better. Irina made a somewhat serious face, and Zenobia was a little surprised since it was strange to see her like that. Irina knew that the two of them did not love Issei very much, just as her parents were a little worried when they found out that she was not there, since she thought the worst. Asami. The truth is, he left not long ago, and we haven't seen him leave the academy for a while. Irina. I see, I hope to see you soon. At that she got up and joined Zenobia and they left. Well, Issei. Issei. It's already noon and nothing. And what are you looking for? That a bunch of renegades surrounded Issei. Issei. There are more than I thought. Maybe you are scared and want to go with mommy. Issei didn't say anything and at great speed she moved and killed some of them with one blow. Destroying their heads, the other demons were surprised to see their strength and they all launched the attack. Issei continued moving and less than 10 minutes passed and he was already done, leaving only one while she trembled. Issei approached him. Issei. Well, that's all of you. If only you are a monster. Well, he trembled. Issei didn't say anything and killed him as he walked towards the house. Issei. It will be a long walk again and they were weak. That's when he called Surzich. Issei. It's done, I'm coming back. Surzich. How fast, and that's good. At that Issei hung up and headed off. Chapter 9. Issei was walking through the forest. Issei. There were quite a few renegades, I thought this trip would last longer. While he was walking. In the city of Ku. Sona. They heard an envoy from the church, one of my entourage is being taken care of by your knight and the other is looking for Kakabiel and her servants. Riaz. I see we still don't know where that madman will attack. Sona. Yes, you have to be alert in case something happens. Hero. Don't worry, if I'm here there's nothing to fear. Riaz and the other girls just put on a smile since they trust him. Hours passed and it became night while Issei was on the train and was only half an hour away from reaching Ku. Issei. Finally home, maybe the next mission will be more interesting, but now it's time to rest. I must also learn to use this katana well, use a lot of force against them. He closed his eyes and fell asleep for a while. Minutes passed and someone woke him up. Sir, we have already arrived at the city of Ku. Issei. I see, thank you for letting me know. The employee just nodded and Issei headed towards the house. Issei. It's a beauty. He didn't finish speaking since someone was calling him. Issei. Hello, who is speaking? Serafal. Issei, I'm Serafal and well, can you tell us where you are? Issei. I'm on my way home, I got off the train recently. Serafal. I understand, tell me how long it would take you to get to the academy. Issei. I don't know but not much because. Serafal. A cadre is attacking the academy and it will take us a while since the girls took a while to call us. Could you please help us? Issei. Okay, I'm on my way. Serafal. Thank you. Issei hangs up the phone. Issei. Well, it's time to run for a while, I have time not to do it. He gets into position and in a few seconds he was running at super speed that no one could see. While at the academy, Ria's entourage was all hurting, they couldn't handle Kakabiel, plus he had many soldiers on his side. Ria's. Damn, I'll kill you. Kakabiel. You brat, hahaha, don't make me laugh, you're so weak. Well, he had a smile and Ria's only got angrier at that. He looked at Hero and saw him hurting with an acceleration of breathing. Very high. Asia. Don't try harder, you are very weak and without strength. Hero just gritted his teeth because he was so angry. Kakabiel was going to say something, but then someone broke the barrier. And in the middle of the dust someone came out. Issei. I arrived on time. Everyone was surprised to see him and even more so with those clothes. Asami. What are you doing here, you shouldn't be anywhere else. Issei. I finished quickly and they sent me to this place. Kakabiel. They sent a human, that's going down low, hahaha. Issei. Well, let's see what a cadre is made of. Kakabiel got angry and created a spear and was going to throw it at Issei, But in a few seconds he was already hitting his stomach, knocking him to the ground. Akabiel stood up in pain and was going to say something, but Issei beat him to it, giving him a big blow that left him dead. No one could believe he killed him with just 2 blows. Issei. I can't believe it. Well, he looked at the sky. Issei. They said it was strong, but in the end it wasn't much. He turned around and went home. They tried to talk to him, but he didn't pay attention and he continued on his way. Ollie. I'll kill him so quickly now that I'll tell Azazel. Albion. It's your fault for being a voyeur. Ollie. But that boy has monster strength, what kind of sacred gear would he have to be like that? Albio. I don't know, but you better not mess with him. They spoke telepathically as they left with Kakabiel's corpse. Minutes later the leaders arrived with a small army. Sirzich. Riaz, what happened here? Riaz. We were fighting with the cadre and out of nowhere that boy Issei came and killed him. The leaders were shocked to learn that Issei had killed him. Serafal. Wow, didn't hold back against that cadre. Riaz. Oni-sama, tell him to join my entourage, he will be a good tower. Sirzich. We already talked about it, Riaz, you better not bother that boy, he's stronger than your entire entourage combined. Riaz. That's a lie. Serafal. You better shut up and don't make a fuss here. Riaz didn't say anything and it was better to keep silent. It sounds better and I don't even speak since she didn't want to be scolded too. The guards rebuilt the academy again. While Issei was walking to his house, but then he took a different path and went towards a mountain. Minutes passed and he arrived and sat down and saw the landscape. Issei looked at his hands. Issei. That cadre really disappointed me a little, that's why I went with some power, but in the end he couldn't hold out. Haha, well, that doesn't matter as long as there are no injuries in the city, I'm satisfied. Now that Parents' Day is coming, whether or not I'm going to class, I'd better go, I don't want any problems. While he was still thinking, high up in the sky he saw someone and out of curiosity he called him, and the person saw him. In a few seconds the person came down since he was curious about the person who was calling him. Issei. I can't believe what a coincidence. Sorry, we know each other. With a serious face. Issei just put on a smile. Issei. It was cool, let me remind you. I know. Years ago a child was training out of nowhere, a girl came out of a magic circle and said that she had made a mistake. While he had that smile on it the person realized who he was. Lefay. Issei, it's you. With a surprised and happy face. Issei. Of course Lefay, you forgot about me so quickly. Lefay without thinking gave him a big hug, a few seconds passed and he separated from Issei. Lefay. It's been so long and it's changed a lot. How did you recognize me so quickly? Issei. Your hat gives you away, it's not the same. Lefay. Yes, it is the same. Issei. But look at everything, young lady, you have become very pretty. Lefay. Thank you, I say the same about you. A little red from the praise. Issei. What were you doing here and more flying? Lefay. I came from a mission not far from here and I wanted to fly for a while to feel the breeze. Issei. That sounds great, I wish I could fly too. Lefay. I can make you fly a little so you can see how it feels. Issei. Great, please do it. Lefay created a spell and Issei began to float while putting on a smile. Lefay began to fly and guide Issei in the air. They flew for a while until they returned to the ground. Issei. That was great. Lefay. There will be a next one. Issei. That's good and I see that you've become stronger, you kept your promise, no. Lefay. Thanks to her I improve as much as I can, but I still have a lot to do and what about you? You achieved it. Issei. I did everything possible, but I reached my limit, I think I can't improve anymore. Lefay. I see but it doesn't matter. We can see each other again. Issei. Sure, whenever you want, you're my friend, no. Lefay. Yes we are. At that Issei takes out her phone and gives it to Lefay to write down her number. Issei. Well you should go back to your friends, you better do it or else they will worry about you. Lefay. Yes we will be in contact. She was about to create a magic circle to leave, but she cancelled it and Issei didn't understand. She was going to say something, but Lefay approached and kissed her on the cheek and so she turned all red and Issei was the same. Issei. I didn't see that coming at all. Chapter 10. Issei was still in shock in the morning until he reacted. Issei. I didn't expect it, but well, that's how happy she is. Well, she put on a smile and went home. Lefay was arriving home and the others stared at him. Lefay. Something's happening. Kuroka. You took longer than you should. Arthur. Something happened along the way. Lefay still had a small blush that only Kuroka saw and gave a smile. Lefay. Nothing happened Oni-sama, it just felt so good that I wasted my time. I'm a little tired, I'm going to sleep, good night. Leaving a silence, Kuroka, out of curiosity, followed her as they arrived at hers, true to her. Lefay. Something's happening. Kuroka. Ami, if you tell me what happened, I won't notice it. Lefay. I saw it coming. Kuroka. So. Lefay. Well, I saw Issei again. While she had a smile, Kuroka was a little surprised. Kuroka. Seriously, how did that happen? Lefay. I was flying and he saw me and well he wanted to know who was talking to me and I got off. Kuroka. You weren't afraid that something would happen. Lefay. While she was going down she had a spell prepared. Kuroka. I understand and what he is like. Lefay. He is still happy and a good person. Kuroka. And he's handsome. Lefay just turned red as she remembered. Kuroka. Tell me. Lefay just took out her phone and showed her a photo where the two of them appeared. Kuroka was surprised to see Issei with a smile and how handsome she was. Kuroka. Wow, he's handsome. And how strong he is. Lefay. The truth is, I don't know, only he told me that he had reached his limit. Kuroka. It means he's weak. Lefay. And that's what's bad about it. But the serious face I assist Kuroka a little since she had never seen her like this. Lefay took her out of the room to be alone. Lefay. Whether you are strong or weak, I will protect you. I trained a lot to be strong. She fell asleep while she thought that. Issei was arriving home when someone spoke. Seraphol. Issei welcome. Issei. Seraphol who brings her here. Seraphol. I wanted to thank you for saving my sister and Ria's. Issei. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Seraphol. Okay and tell me why your house is so dark you don't pay for the electricity. Issei. I don't need it, I like it that way and I live alone. Seraphol. I understand it's because of your family, no. Issei. Well, what can be done, it's already in the past, we have to move on, no. Seraphol. Although I came to tell you that and also to give you your payment for your mission. Issei. It's okay, thank you. Taking a card with money. Issei. Oh and I hope you'll forgive me for not getting enough information, I'm not very good at that. Seraphol. It's okay, don't worry. From what I see you are still dressed the same. Issei. I won't lie, I like the style, it's comfortable, you should try it. Seraphol. I will do it then tell me something because you treat me normal and not with respect. Issei. That bothers you. Seraphol. It's not at all that it's always like this. Issei. Well I could see that you are someone who doesn't take much importance to status. Seraphol. I understand and thank you, I hope we get along well. Issei. I say the same. She shook hands and she was about to leave. Seraphol. Before I go I have something to tell you. Issei. Yes. Seraphol. After the parent meeting there will be a faction meeting, I hope you can go. Issei. Okay, I'll be there. And so Seraphol left, putting on a smile. Time passed and the day of father's meeting arrived. Issei partly did not want to go since his sister was in his class and well, there would be some of her parents. They had them create something with clay and Issei only thought about her two friends Lefay and Seraphol, creating two statues that surprised a professor and the demons who knew Seraphol. He passed the class and left with the two statues, seeing that there were many students in the gym, and so he was surprised to see Seraphol dressed as a magical girl. Seconds later, Saji arrived, sending everyone to her classroom. Seraphol saw Issei and approached him. Seraphol. Issei, how are you? Issei. Well, I see that you're having fun, right? Seraphol. Well what can I say if it's true? Issei turned over one of the statues of her and gave it to Seraphol, being surprised. Seraphol. Wow, it's beautiful, seriously, give it to me. Issei. Of course I made them to give them. Well he put on a smile just like Seraphol, but then he saw the other statue and was curious. Seraphol. Issei and that other one for who he is. Issei. It's for another friend I have. Putting on a smile and showing it to Seraphol. Issei. The truth is, I've only had two friends, one called Arena and the other Lefay. I wanted to know if you wanted to be my friend too. Seraphol. Of course I already considered you a friend for a long time, not you. Issei. Well yes, but I had to ask the truth. Seraphol. I see, I'm glad to be one of your friends. Well he put on a smile just like Issei, more people arrived. Issei was going to leave, but someone spoke. Hero. Wow, but he's the useless one in the family. Issei didn't say anything while her back was turned. Ti. You're already bored of living on the streets, your mother already told me that you live there. Issei. I was just resting there after a big day, I don't live on the streets. Ti. What does it matter, you have to go back home. Issei. Because. Am I? You must help with the mess you left in the house. Issei. What are you talking about? I always took care of that house even though I was a child. Seraphol was just listening, but inside she was angry and she wanted to say something. Issei. I have to go if you'll excuse me. Issei started to walk and Hero stopped him and turned around when he saw Issei's statue and took it. Issei. Please return it to me. Hero. She is a very pretty girl. At that point he let her go and threw her on the ground. Issei only looked down and didn't say anything. The others didn't say anything, they just limited themselves to seeing Ria's and Sona's entourage and Ria's parents who didn't say anything. Seraphol was furious. She thought Issei would do something. Issei just gave a sigh and thought. Issei. I don't want problems with the Gremory family. If I do something to Hero, they will call me a murderer and they will look for me. I'd better leave. Issei, with his eyes downcast, walked towards the house without saying anything. Hero? Ha 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 ha, that's how you should be made useless, like you can't be with us. Issei didn't say anything and instead she followed the path. She passed near Seraphol and Issei only gave her a half smile while she shook her head in denial. And so on. Seraphol understood what she meant to do nothing. But she was angry and just spoke. Seraphol. Because you destroy other people's work. All eyes were directed at Seraphol. Nobody said anything. Seraphol. If you are going to destroy Issei's creations, why don't you come and do the same with mine? Showing him her figure. Seraphol. Issei made it because you don't come and do it. With a serious face she surprised everyone and Hero couldn't say anything. He was afraid of Seraphol's look. It was a cold look and hatred. It was better she didn't say anything and it was better she left, leaving a silence. Then Alana. What just happened here? Riaz. I have no idea, but let's go, it doesn't matter. I don't take it into account, and so everyone leaves. In the evening time for the meeting. Chapter 11. The leaders of the three factions were gathered with their companions. On behalf of Heaven, Michael the leader, and Gabriel, his and Irina's sister. On the part of the fallen, Azazel the leader, and Penemu and Vali. On the part of the Underworld, Surzich and Seraphol and the two entourages. Everyone was gathered in the room. Azazel. Well, who are we waiting for since this has not started? Surzich. To the person who killed Kakabiel. Azazel. I thought they had been one of your entourage. Surzich. It wasn't with the help of another person. Seraphol, where is Issei? Seraphol. He just sent me a message and he's inside the academy, coming in a few seconds. Seconds passed and Issei opened the door wearing her outfit. The girls who didn't know him were surprised by his clothes. Issei. Sorry for the delay, I didn't know the place, haha. Well, he scratched the back of his head, no one could say anything. Michael. He is the one who defeated Kakabiel, but he. Issei. He's just a human, that's why I was going to say no. Michael. Yes, and sorry if I offended you. Issei. It's not good, I'm used to being told that. As he walked to a chair. Azazel. Boy, what's your name? Issei. You can call me Issei for a pleasure. The person's eyes widened when he heard that name. Irina. It's really you, Issei. Issei. It's been a long time, no Irina. Well, he put on a smile and Irina ran towards Issei like a flash and gave him a big hug. A few seconds passed. Issei. It's not that I dislike it, but everyone is looking at us. Irina opened her eyes wide when she heard that and she was very embarrassed. She apologized and it pleased Gabriel and she just gave him a smile. Surzich. Well, let's start the meeting, girls, please. They played the video of the fight and since they were about to die until Issei arrived and killed him with just 2 blows, the leaders were surprised. Azazel. Boy, what kind of sacred gear do you have since I can't feel it? Issei. I don't have any sacred or magical gear. Penemu. But how is that possible? You must have your limits. This is how it will be, Penemu. Issei. Well, everyone has their limits and I reached mine not long ago. Gabriel. How did you come to have that kind of strength? I was curious. Issei. With training. Azazel. That would be impossible if everyone were that strong. Issei. Seriously, tell me a person who has trained every day for 6 years without fail, even if he is sick or injured. Azazel didn't know how to answer that question. He was right, not many get to do that. Michael. But you should have rested. Issei. In the afternoons, tell me, someone can see memories because they don't look at what happens. Surzich. I will. She was also curious. She got up from her seat and, next to Issei, created a magic circle and took out a sphere from Issei's head and placed it as a projection. In that they saw Issei's childhood, how they treated him, how they abandoned him. The girls who didn't know him were surprised just like Irina. They saw how he set out to be a strong person. Also, as he began training non-stop, they saw how he killed his first demon with his own hands. Everyone was surprised. They saw how he hurt his hands just to break a rock. They saw his hands and they saw that he was wearing gloves. Also, as he met Lefay and Seraphol knew who he was, they saw his growth and his strength as he killed demons with 1 blow. And how he broke rocks just by touching them. They also saw the mission he had and how he killed 2 renegades with a katana. The swordsmen were surprised by the speed he had. How he killed an army with just his fists in a few minutes and the death of Kakabiel. Nobody could say anything, it was a great silence, they couldn't believe it. Azazel. You surprise me, you had a very difficult training in addition to enduring heat and cold. And what you ate, the truth is I couldn't resist that anymore with those wounds after your first battle. Michael. I see you tried hard, sorry for my previous comment. Issei. Okay, it's in the past. Azazel. But why haven't you become a demon like your brothers to break that limit? Issei. No, if I do that I would be taking the easy way out. And in this life nothing is easy or free, everything has a cost, and mine was these scars, but I don't regret anything. Azazel. I understand and I admire you for that, but, Issei. I know what he will say, and if I don't care if I die, if I do it will be as a human, since it shows that humans can fight the unknown. No one could say anything since it was true that they thought that Issei could give them a fight. Michael. You have a big heart and we can't reach that level because we depend a lot on our magic and we already have enough strength. Azazel. That's true, we improve our magic, not our strength. Issei. I understand, well let's leave this here and. Everything stopped. The same thing happened as in the story until the time came for the fight between the two celestial dragons, but Hero lost quickly because he was confident. Ali. Hi to Issei, I want to see that strength that you boast about so much. With a smile without the helmet. Issei. I don't brag about anything. Ali. I don't care if you die here today so that my plans can continue. At great speed, he throws himself at Issei to the side. When Issei was about to arrive, he just stretched out her elbow, destroying his armor completely and sending him flying. Everyone was surprised. Bali left the place angry and created his armor again and launched himself into the attack. Issei didn't move and just grabbed Bali's hand and started to break it. Making him scream, Issei hits him hard in the stomach, sending him flying. Issei lets go of his hand. Azazel. Never a joke, his strength is monstrous. Michael. Yes. Seraphil. Besides, he hasn't moved from the place one bit. Gabriel. Yes, but there is something in him. Enemu. What are you talking about? Gabriel. He is sad even though he had a smile before he was just hiding it. Enemu. Which he has. Seraphil. Maybe it's because of the humiliation that his brother gave him in the morning as well as his parents. Gabriel. Yes, that can be it. As they watched the fight, Bali saw the rubble all angry and came out again. Issei just dodged. Issei. Why don't you give up and leave? Bali. Hahaha, me being a miracle to surrender before a first dead human. Issei didn't say anything. Issei. If you wish. As he took a step back and stretched out his fist, giving him a big blow in the face, sending him to heaven. When he went down he fell on his feet, but Issei hit him in the stomach at great speed, destroying his armor in that he gets up all in pain and tries to create it but nothing. Ali. Albion, what's up? Albion. I don't know, those blows were deadly, I had to use a lot of the armor, it's very damaged, you won't be able to use it for a while. Ali. What the hell are you saying? Albion. What you heard, you will only be able to use the wings. Issei started to walk and Vali maybe divided Issei's power but nothing. Ali. But if he happens to be a human, he should no longer have the strength. Issei. I trained for many years not to feel weakness, so it doesn't affect me. Vali didn't say anything as he saw that Issei was no longer in that he saw a big fist that he saw against him. He could only see something monstrous in that he fainted. So Biku arrives and takes him away, a little surprised to see Vali so hurt. The great silence was created that was broken by someone. Hero. Your fucking solo is on. Approaching and punching him in the face, but Issei didn't even move, let alone his face. Hero tried to hit him again, but Issei grabbed his arm. Issei. I don't like violence. Well, he squeezed Hero's arm, making him scream and cry out something. He broke his hand, everyone was surprised to see him lying there holding his hand. Riaz. You damn, how dare you hurt Hero. She was about to attack, but someone stopped her. Surzich. Hero attacked first, he only defended himself, you must understand, no. Riaz. But Oni-sama. Surzich. But nothing. Riaz didn't say anything and sent Asia to heal him. Issei. I'm leaving. He did it without waiting for a response with a slightly sad face that three girls could see, but Gabriel could see his sadness. Chapter 12. Seraphil. Riaz, you better control your pawn better, he can't stay still for a moment. Riaz. But what? Seraphil. Issei is only trying to help, and your pawn is only going to insult him if he continues like this, sooner or later Issei will not have patience and will kill him. Riaz didn't say anything, she felt very angry, but she couldn't yell at him since he is a Mao. Surzich. Both groups better leave, we will fix this. The two entourages just nodded and left a little angry at the scolding. All the leaders. Surzich. I hope you'll forgive us for seeing that. Azazel. Okay. Michael. I say the same thing, but I'm surprised that guy didn't do anything. Seraphil. Issei does not like violence, he fights only when necessary, he does not do it for fun. Gabriel. When he left sad. Enemu. I could tell. Michael. What must have happened to him to leave like that? Seraphil. From what we saw in his life, he has always been alone. That's what someone is talking about. Arena. Excuse me, but before I left Ku I was always with him and he always smiled. Gabriel. I could see it. Seraphil. He told me that he only has 3 friends. Arena. Seriously, who? Seraphil. You one called Lefay and me. Arena was surprised to hear that as well as the other 2 girls present. Azazel. How did you become friends, so you almost never talk to guys? Seraphil. Well, Issei is different, he is calm and you can talk to him. From a magic circle he takes out a statue. Seraphil. He gave me this statue recently, it's not pretty. He said it with a smile, and 3 girls were jealous of the statue. Surzich. Well, now that everything has turned out, it's time to sign no. The other 2 leaders. Irina. Seraphil Sama, you know where he lives. Seraphil. Yes. Irina. Can you give me your address so I can go see it tomorrow? Seraphil just nodded and gave him a piece of paper. And they left with the rest. While in an unknown place a magic circle appeared, those present saw 2 people leave and were surprised. Arthur. What happened to him? Iku. I have no idea, when I arrived it was already like this. Everyone could see how hurt he was and unconscious. Iku. Kuroka Lefay can be cured. The 2 just nodded. Lefay. What happened to him? That's when someone speaks. Albion. A boy gave him what he deserved. Lefay. Who was it? Albion. I better show them. The office was there, but she didn't take much notice of it. Albion defeated the Isseiwhatif easily and challenged Issei. Lefay was surprised to see him there, and Kuroka was curious to see what he was like. At that point they saw how he launched himself into the attack and how with his elbow he destroyed his armor. Iku. What the hell, how did he do that? Arthur. With just 1 blow I destroy it. They continued watching and how he stopped hitting him and how he made him spit up blood. They saw the great beating he gave him and how he fainted without touching him. It was a silence. Albion. In that last blow volley and I could see something monster. Kukora. What did they see? Albion. Something that is indestructible to destroy. Arthur. He is so strong. Albion. I don't know. Nobody said anything until someone spoke. Office. That boy is interesting. Everyone turned to look at her. Lefay. What does Office-sama mean? Office. That boy didn't fight seriously, and if he had volley would have been dead from the first blows. They were surprised to hear that. Office. I'll go see him and bring him back, maybe he'll help me. But someone stopped her, and everyone was surprised to see who she was. Lefay. He can't go. Office. Because. Arthur. Lefay, what are you doing? Lefay. I don't want you to hurt Issei. Everyone's eyes widened, except Arthur. Arthur. Lefay, you know him. Lefay. Yes. Iku. Like. Lefay. When I was a child I failed a spell and by mistake I ended up in Japan, and in Ku I appeared in a forest and he was there trained. We talked a little until he can recover magic. I didn't see him again until recently. Arthur. Because you didn't tell me any of this. Lefay. He is my friend. Also Office-sama Issei is only a human. No one could believe a human left volley in that state. Office was a little surprised to know that. Office. How could he reach that level? Albion. He showed us the memories of him. Albion shows what he saw and everyone was surprised by the training he did himself and how he met Lefay and they saw how he built a statue for her and Lefay blushed but saw how her brother destroyed it and got angry. Iku. I won't lie, that training seems very difficult to complete but it served him well. With just 1 blow, he killed many. Arthur. Yes, he is also not a swordsman but with just 1 cut he killed 2 renegades. He has skill. Lefay. Office-sama I respect her, but Issei doesn't like problems and he only helps people who need it, he doesn't do it out of interest. Office. But he might take out Red. Lefay. I don't think he can, he reached the limit not long ago and he can't get any stronger. Office. You just have to turn him into half dragon. Lefay. That would be impossible. Kuroka. Because. Lefay. When he was little, he suffered because he could see how his parents left him aside in addition to not having sacred gear or magic like his brothers. He did not give up and wanted to show that a human can face the unknown. Issei only told me that if he dies he would be human since everyone could know that a human stood up to the most powerful ones. Office. I understand it's a good point but. Lefay. But. Office. It caught my attention, I'll keep an eye on it. Everyone's eyes widened as it was rare for Office to be interested in something. Well Issei. He was on the mountain of him thinking. Issei. What did I do to deserve this contempt from my family? I will always be alone, I will never be with someone. Well he felt the breeze that was already late. He heard some footsteps but he didn't even turn around. Irina. Issei. Issei. Irina, what brings you here is already late, you should be resting. Irina. I'm fine and I was worried about you. Issei. I'm fine, don't worry. While he continued looking straight ahead Irina approached and sat next to her. Irina. Issei, since I left I felt alone, I missed you every day and when I came back I didn't find you. Issei. Maybe it was when he was on a mission. Irina. Yes, I went to your house, but your mother told me that you left and so did your brothers, but they were calm about saying it. Issei. Well they didn't care much, the truth is that when they came back they didn't give me anything, they just said, we thought you were dead. Irina was surprised to hear that. Irina. I didn't think something like this would happen. Issei. That's life, we just have to move forward although it will be a very long road. Irina. Tell me Issei why you didn't defend yourself from Hero. Issei. If he had done it, her king would have defended him and then her family would defend her and they would force the mass to retaliate. Since they are noble. Irina. But. Issei. Also, I don't belong to any faction, I'm free, I only help when it's needed, like Surzich and Serafal on that mission. You know Irina, I feel tired of this life. She gives a sigh and she looks at the sky. Issei. Maybe he didn't deserve to be born, maybe only by resting could he be at peace. Irina couldn't believe Issei's words, she saw Issei's sadness and as tears came out, she felt helpless, she didn't know what to do, she could only cry too. Irina. Issei, don't say that. You have a future ahead of you, your friends and I need you. If something happens to you, we will feel very bad. Issei. I know and that is the reason for living to fight for the innocent and for my friends. While she stretched her hand to the sky. Chapter 13. The two were still there. Issei didn't say anything and Irina didn't know what to say, she heard Issei's pain. Issei. You turned into an angel, no. Irina. As you realized. Issei. If you were with the angels I should assume otherwise. Irina. Yes I did, but no one knew until now. Issei. It was a surprise. Irina. Not at all. Issei. And what will you do now? Irina. I asked for permission to be here and I was going to see you tomorrow, but I found you here so I'm going back to heaven. Issei. I see that was always your dream and now you are, I congratulate you. Irina. Thank you, as I see, it is already the date that your vacation will arrive. Issei. Maybe I'll do some missions to stay busy, you know I don't have friends to go out with and the ones I have are busy. Irina. I'm sorry. Issei. It's okay, that's life. You should come back, it's late. Irina. You too. Issei. Okay, I'll go later. Irina just gave Issei a hug and left with a half smile. Issei stayed silent watching the stars. Issei. What will I do from now on, I better stop thinking and go home. He got up and headed home to rest. The next morning arrived and Issei was at the academy, it was a normal day until he was called to the occult club and when he entered everyone stared at him. Hero? What's the useless guy doing here? Issei. They just called me. They saw me. Who? Azazel. I did. Riaz. Because. Azazel. Afterwards, first by orders of the other leaders, I will be the advisor of this club and also the two entourages will live in the same house. Nobody said anything, they were orders. Hero. Wait that useless guy too. Pointing at Issei. Azazel. No, you can't force him. Sona. Because. Azazel. Because he doesn't belong to any faction. Akeno. So what is he doing here? Azazel. That's what I was going for, Issei, you have a mission. The two entourages were surprised as they saw Azazel serious and upset because he has missions. Sona. Wait, what kind of mission? Azazel. Delete. Sona. What rank is it? Azazel. S rank. Everyone was surprised to know the rank, but someone did not accept it. Hero. How is that possible because a useless person has a mission of that rank and we don't even leave Ku. Riaz. It's true that it happens. Sona. We deserve that kind of mission too. Azazel. If they were able to use their powers well. Riaz. What do you mean? Azazel. Easy, Riaz Gremory, you use your power if you think the same as your queen and your rook goes crazy, and your knight depends a lot on speed, and your other knight doesn't think well, and your pawn doesn't know how to use his balance breaker well, if they are going to a mission like this will only lead to death. And your Sona is the same as Riaz, and your entourage is neither strong nor weak, the problem is that they have never had a real battle. Nobody could say anything. Riaz. And that matters. Sona. If the two of us go, we could do it. Azazel. And who would be the leader? The two pointed themselves out. Azazel. You also saw that some of you don't control your emotions well in fights, don't you, Hero? Hero just clicks his tongue in frustration. Azazel. Saying that, you can leave for a moment, I must give the information, then you enter to find out what you will do. Everyone reluctantly left the place, leaving only Azazel and Issei. Issei. And well it happens. Azazel. Well from what you heard, it is a dangerous mission that you will do. Issei. I'll accept it, and the holidays are almost here and I don't have much to do. Azazel. I see, well you will have to go to Holland, there is a large group from the Cows Brigade. Issei. I see, I accept to go, but who will be my guide, you know that I don't know those countries or their language. Azazel. I understand. Issei. Yes, but I want someone who will just take me and then wait for me, I don't want someone to get hurt. Azazel. Okay, I'll see who will be available to guide you. Issei. Fine when I go out. Azazel. You can tomorrow, but since I have to find you a guide it will be in 4 days. Issei. Okay, see you in 4 days. Getting up from his seat and leaving the place, passing alongside the others. The entourages entered. Azazel. Well, since the holidays are coming and since they are going to the Underworld, I am going to enter them there with all my knowledge. The others just nodded. It was night and the leaders were gathered. Sirzich. And how did it go? Azazel. I accept but he needs a guide, he said, since he won't know where to go in the language. Sirzich. I see, and who could go? Everyone started thinking, someone is talking. Gabriel. Now that I remember, Griselda is there on a mission and it will soon end, she can guide him. Michael. It's true, but she will accept the mission. Gabriel. Give me a few minutes and I'll call her. Gabriel left the meeting room and called, a few minutes passed and he returned. Azazel. Well. Gabriel. He will, no problem with it. Serafal. But she doesn't hate being with men. Gabriel. No problem, I told him the situation and he'll put up with it. Serafal. Okay, Azazel, call Issei and tell him he can go out tomorrow. And thus ending the mission, Issei was in the house and received a call and he just accepted. The next Issei was at the airport and hours passed and he arrived at his destination, many looking at him because of his strange clothes. Issei did not take it into account and was looking for the person who would guide him in that. He sees the sign and approaches. Issei. Hello, my name is Issei. Griselda. Hello, I'm Griselda. Issei. Please guide me. Griselda just nodded and they went to a car and went on their way to the place they had been informed of. The road was silent, it seemed strange to Griselda, since the men always talked to her non-stop or kept looking at her. But she saw Issei observing the landscape with a smile. Griselda. You like what you see? Issei reacts. Issei. Well, the truth is, it's the first time I've left Ku to a European country, and it's nice. Griselda. I see, but I don't understand why they sent. Issei. Not a human. Griselda. Sorry if it bothers you. Issei. It's okay, everyone tells me that. Griselda felt a little guilty and she saw Issei through the mirror, but he was as if nothing had happened. Issei. They told you that they were here before, you had a mission before. Griselda. If they have eyes me, they would send someone. Issei. I hope I haven't bothered you by making you do more work. Griselda. Okay, it was a request from Gabriel Sama. Issei. I understand. Griselda. You know her. Issei. I didn't see her in person at a faction meeting. Griselda. Okay. Issei. Leave me a little far away, I want to walk and then you can go back to your house. Griselda. That's not possible, I'll wait. Issei. He's not going to get bored of waiting. Griselda. I'll be fine. Issei. I understand. She didn't say anything else and continued watching the landscape. Griselda seemed like a calm person and so she continued along the path until she reached the place. Issei got out of the car and used a bush they gave him to guide him. He started walking without saying anything to Griselda. Griselda. He left without saying anything, it's strange that he didn't say anything about my appearance like the rest. But a half smile. Just then she receives a call. Griselda. Hello. Gabriel. Hello Griselda, how are you doing? Griselda. Well Gabriel Sama, he is already on his way, I will have to wait a long time for his return. Gabriel. I don't think you'll wait that long. Griselda. Because. Gabriel. He is very strong. Besides, he is a good person and with a good heart, treat him well if he has suffered a lot. Griselda. It's strange that you talk like that. Gabriel. You will know in time. At that point he hung up and left Griselda in doubt and it was better to wait for him to return since she thought it would take a while. Chapter 14. Issei walked around the place in search of his lair. Issei. I hope to finish this quickly, I really want to go home, but the faster the better. He continued on his way and an hour passes before he emerges from some bushes. And everyone from the Cows Brigade looks at him strangely. Issei. I finally arrived. What the hell is a human doing here? It doesn't matter, it can serve as training. If you are right, hahaha, well let's do it quickly. At that 3 fallen men went to the attack while the others watched with a smile. But Issei killed them with a few blows, the rest just opened their mouths. Issei. Let's finish this quickly, someone is waiting for me. The other fallen and demons went to the attack. Issei without forgiveness killed everyone who crossed him and continued on his way. Using his katana too. He mercilessly killed them on his way. The large group stood in front of Issei with a big smile and went to attack. Issei, undeterred, did not get nervous and went on the attack as well. Minutes passed and the renegades were scared of such power. Issei continued with the massacre and did not let anyone go. Issei. There were quite a few, but I finally finished and I will be able to return. This trip was shorter than I thought. Giving a sigh and returning to Griselda. Well with her. Griselda. It will take a while since he has to infiltrate, what will he do in all this time? Well I'll train. At that he takes out his sword and begins to train. About 20 minutes passed and Issei was returning. Griselda was surprised to see him without any wounds and with blood. Griselda. I hope that blood is not yours. Issei. They are not from the renegades, haha, there were many. Griselda. But there were many like you did. Issei. It was a long fight, but hey, we can go to the airport. Griselda. You don't think you've changed. Issei. I'll change along the way, the faster we get back, the better for you, no. Griselda. It doesn't matter, it's late, we can camp here since all the renegades were eliminated, there's nothing to worry about. Issei. Okay, I'll go change there. She went to the car and took out a suitcase and changed her clothes. It was late and they created a bonfire. Issei. You must be tired because you're not going to sleep, I'll keep watch. Griselda. I'm not well, I'll stay a little. Issei. I see. Well, she looked at the sky and there was an uncomfortable silence for Griselda. Griselda. Issei, why are you looking at the sky? Issei without stopping watching. Issei. It brings me peace and the stars are free. While putting on a smile. Griselda. You already want to go back home to be with your family. Issei. I don't have a family. Griselda continued looking at the sky and felt guilty about the question. Issei. Don't apologize, they're not dead if you think about it. Griselda. And then. Issei. My family abandoned me 6 years ago, I had to live on my own. Griselda. It must have been hard. But because they left you. Issei. My 2 brothers have sacred gear and the Gremory and Citri family offered them to go to I don't know where and they left overnight. Griselda. That was very cruel of them. Issei. Well, it's the past, nothing can be done. Griselda. But how did you become so strong by not having anything? Issei. I trained day and night, my bones cracked with pain, but I didn't give up, I swore to be strong to help the weak. Griselda. And you achieved it from what I see. Issei. I did my best to reach my limit and that's how I'll stay. Griselda. But if they join a faction you could break your limit, no. Issei. Could but no. I have to prove that a human can go far and if I join a faction, I would only be saying how weak I am. Griselda. You have a point, but what if you die? Issei. If that happens then let it happen, but I will die as a human who fought against the unknown. Griselda. You are a good person, you are not like those I know. Issei. Thanks for the compliment. Griselda. But someone must be waiting for you at home. Issei. I live alone. Griselda. You like solitude. Issei. Of course not, and I only have 3 friends and they are always busy with their jobs. Griselda. And who are they? Issei. My childhood friend Irina and Lefay and Seraphil. Griselda was surprised to learn that she was Seraphil's friend. Griselda. I see you know Irina, she is a very happy girl. Issei. Yes it is. Griselda. Issei, we can be friends too. Issei stopped seeing the sky and saw her. Issei. Because. Griselda. Because you are a good person and you are not like other men. Issei. Like. Griselda. They only look at one's appearance and that really bothers me. But you are different, you look into my eyes and you talk to me normal, that's why. Issei. I understand, that would make me happy, I hope we get along well. Stretching out his hand with a smile just like Griselda. Griselda. What do you say when we get back we go somewhere to have fun? Issei. You won't be busy. Griselda. Nope, this was my last mission, I don't know when I'll have one again, maybe we'll have one together. Issei. The idea of having fun sounds good and that's fine. And if it would be great to have a mission with you, an acquaintance is better. But the smile that made Griselda blush because of how sincere she was. Hours passed and Griselda went to rest in the car. I'm in bed. Griselda. Gabriel Sama was right, he is a good person. I hope to know more about him in the future, although there are 3 girls interested in him too. Well, he fell asleep. The night passed and the day came, they headed towards the airport while they were talking and laughing about anything. The trip passed and they arrived at Ku, they took different paths. Issei. I'll wait for your call, goodbye. Griselda. Bye, see you. While getting into a taxi just like Issei. Already in the taxi Issei made a call. Hassel Leviathan. Seraphil was tiredly filling out some paperwork and just then her phone rings and she sees who it is and she rushes to answer it. Seraphil. Hello Issei, something happened. Issei. Hello. Not only did I want to call you to tell you that I'm back in Ku from the mission and since you're the only one I have among the leaders, I hope you don't mind. Seraphil. It's okay, don't worry. Finish the mission quickly, I thought it would take you longer. Issei. Well, I won't lie, there were many, but I was able to get ahead. Seraphil. I understand, and how it went with your guide. Issei. You talk about Griselda. Seraphil was surprised to know what he called her. Issei. Well, she is a good person and we also became friends, she is not great. Seraphil's eyes widened when she heard that. Seraphil. That's great. Issei. Yes, but hey, I was just calling to inform. Seraphil. Okay, I'll tell the rest. Issei, we could go out someday and have fun if you don't mind, I have time. Issei. It sounds good, but Griselda said the same thing. If you don't mind, you could come with us, the more the better. Seraphol. Okay, tell me when it's the day. Issei just responded and hung up, arriving at his house and preparing something to eat, and he went to bed, feeling a little tired from the trip. Chapter 15. Griselda had arrived in heaven and she was going to Gabriel's office to give her information. When she arrives she knocks on the door and they let her in. Griselda. Gabriel-sama, the mission was a success. Gabriel. I'm glad that it ended well and how it went with Issei. Griselda gave a half smile that Gabriel noticed. Griselda. She is a good person, she did it very quickly. Gabriel. I'm glad it ended well there, I thought you wouldn't get along with him. Griselda. Because he says so. Gabriel. You know you don't get along well with men. Griselda. At first it was like that, we didn't even talk on the way, and that seemed strange to me, so I decided to look at it in the mirror, and I was smiling looking at the landscape. Gabriel. I don't pay attention to you. Griselda. I didn't ask him and he told me that it was the first time that he traveled to another country, and well I talked a little, and I liked it, and he told me a little about his life. Well, he lowered his head a little. Gabriel. He didn't have it easy, no. Griselda. No, but he came out ahead. Well, when will I have a new mission? Gabriel. For now you can't rest until further notice. Griselda put on a smile that Gabriel knew how to notice and ask. Gabriel. It's the first time you'll be glad to have a break because. Griselda. Well I told Issei that we would go out and have fun. Gabriel was surprised to hear that. Gabriel. I really didn't expect that from you. Griselda. Well, he told me that he was never amused by training, so I promised him. Gabriel. I'm happy for you. She put on a smile, but she didn't understand that she was bothering him. After that she left the office and went towards her room. Issei was at her house doing nothing. Issei. Now that I think about it, the holidays have already started and I have nothing to do since I don't have a job. This is the first time this has happened to me. Well, he gives a big sigh. After a few minutes and while he was lying down, his cell phone rang. Issei. Hello, who is speaking? Griselda. Seriously, not long ago we said goodbye and you forgot about me. Issei sat on his bed. Issei. Not at all like you are. Griselda. Well, I called you to tell you that tomorrow you have time for us to go to the amusement park. Issei had stars in his eyes, it's the first time she would go, but I remember something. Issei. It sounds great, but someone can go too. Griselda. Who would it be? Issei. Seraphol. Griselda. But she's not always busy. Issei. I told her the same thing and well she said no, and she would be great the more the better no. Griselda didn't answer, she thought about it. Then the thoughts. Griselda. Seraphol, are you interested? Issei, I'll find out. After thinking a little she answered. Griselda. Okay, it will be fun. Issei. Great, what time will we meet? Griselda. At noon it's more fun. Issei. Well, I'll call Seraphol, see you tomorrow. And so hanging up and at the same time calling Seraphol. In Castle Leviathan. Seraphol was lying on the couch in her office, she was tired from work. While she was lying down her phone started ringing, but she was too lazy to get up and go to her desk. It rang for the third time, so she had no choice and got up and looked at who was calling. When she saw the name she answered quickly. Seraphol. Issei. Issei. Hello again, sorry if I bother you, you must be very busy. Seraphol. Don't worry, I left the phone in the office and went out for a while haha. She didn't want to tell him that she didn't feel like getting up. Seraphol. Something's happening. Issei. Well, Griselda called me and she told me if we are going to the amusement park and I told her about you and well do you want to go? Seraphol thought about it for a bit. Seraphol. I'll go at what time? Issei. Great, it will be at noon, see you there. At that she hung up and Seraphol put her phone on the table and sat down and she got to work like never before. Seraphol. I have to finish all this so I don't have anything tomorrow. The day passed and the moment came Issei was waiting at a fountain. Minutes passed and then Seraphol arrived. Seraphol. Sorry for the delay. Issei. Don't worry, you look very pretty in those traditional clothes. Seraphol turned red upon receiving the compliment as she tried hard to wear that style. After that Griselda arrived. Griselda. I was the last one at the end. Issei. Okay. Seraphol. I just arrived too Issei. You look pretty Griselda. Griselda blushed, it was the first time it happened to her since she always gets told that, but this time she liked it. Seraphol. You look good too. Griselda. Yes. Issei. Thank you. Issei. Good. Wait here, I'll go call a taxi. Issei leaves while they stand there in silence until someone breaks it. Seraphol. I never thought you'd date a boy. Griselda. I say the same thing about you, you always refuse. Seraphol. Issei is different. Griselda. You like Issei Seraphol-sama. Seraphol. Maybe but just call me Seraphol, I'm not at work now, I'm just a normal girl. Griselda. I understand. Seraphol. Tell me you like him too, don't you? Griselda. I don't know, it's the first time I've talked to a guy other than just work. Seraphol. I see, but you know he is a good person. Griselda. I know, but there's nothing wrong with it, but for you it's different, no. That a super demon falls in love with a human. Seraphol. I have never cared about other people's opinions, the truth is that if they took my job away I wouldn't care. Griselda. That surprises me. Seraphol. You should know that that girl Irina loves him too, right? Griselda. I saw her and she always has that smile. Seraphol. Angels can't share partners, no. Griselda. I know, but no matter her quality she is unique. Seraphol. That you say it is strange. Griselda. Yes, but it's true, they will understand. Just then Issei arrived and they left. When they arrived at the park they went on many games, the three of them had fun. The three sat on a bench to rest. Issei. This is fun, haha. Seraphol. If I had time I didn't do it. Griselda. I say the same thing, I forgot the last time I did this. Issei. I'll go get drinks, wait here. She gets up from the seat and leaves, leaving the two alone while they talked. While they were doing it, three boys arrived. Hello girls, you don't want company. Well, they put on a smile and looked at their bodies. Griselda put on that serious look that she gives to every man. Griselda. We are fine, so please leave. Come on, it will be fun, there are many games. Seraphol became serious, what he hates most is being insisted on so much. Seraphol. We came with someone so you can leave. How could she leave such beautiful women alone? Griselda. Hey, my eyes are up here. Putting on a serious face. The boys continued insisting. In a few seconds, Issei arrives and interrupts the three boys. Issei. Excuse me, but you can leave, they are with me. Do you want to act brave to stay with them? Issei. Because I would do such things if they come with me. Haha, yeah, right. Issei was going to say something else, but Seraphol stands up and stands on her tiptoes since Issei was tall and gave him a kiss on the cheek. Griselda gets up and does the same. The boys just click their tongues and leave angrily. Issei could see something in his face that he didn't like. After that Issei saw them and they were red because of the fact. So that they wouldn't feel that way, Issei kissed them both on the cheek. Issei. Now we are even, no. Well, he smiled and the girls just nodded with a big blush. Minutes passed and they left the park, heading home. Chapter 16. The three of them were walking, it was already late. Issei. It was a great day, I've never had a day this great. Griselda. I say the same thing. Seraphol. If my sister doesn't like this kind of thing I hardly go out. At that the three take a seat on a bench. Issei. Sorry for not arriving earlier when those guys arrived. Griselda. Don't worry, that always happens. Seraphol. If it happens frequently, we're used to it. Issei. I see. Seraphol. Hey Issei, can I ask something? Issei. Tell me. Seraphol. You are happy. A few seconds of silence ensued. Issei. The truth is, before I was always alone, the only thing I did was train. But now I have friends and a purpose, and that is to protect them. The two girls just listened in silence. Issei. Even though I try to show what I do, my brothers don't like it. Seraphol. They're just jealous of you. Issei. You know, when they showed they had that power that day I felt very frustrated since I had nothing. Especially when my whole family and those two girls called me weak and useless. It hurt me to hear that. Seraphol lowered her head for not taking good care of Sona back then. Issei. Someday I will open a big war in this world and they will send me to fight with them. Tell me what can happen when that time comes. The two girls did not know how to answer such a question. Issei. If that's what you imagine, they might abandon me to my fate or use me as a shield while they escape. Griselda. That would be impossible, and if it happened they would have to take responsibility. Issei. Remember that they are upper class who will believe me or someone of their kind. The two knew that Issei's words were true. Issei. They will leave me to my own devices. Life is unfair, don't believe. Seraphol. Despite that, you have managed to get ahead. Griselda. I did things that no one could do, like defeating a celestial dragon. Seraphol. You still have things to prove and reach the top. Griselda. And show that no one can make fun of you. Issei put on a smile while letting out a tear. The two girls were going to say something, but Issei spoke. Issei. Thank you for those words. It makes me feel happy that someone tells me them. Seraphol. I'm just telling the truth. Griselda. It's true that you are someone with a good heart despite everything you have done. Issei. Thank you. Well, it's late, you should go home, you'll be worried if you're late. A few seconds passed and they said goodbye and he headed home. After days Issei didn't have much to do, just kill renegades at night since he hadn't been informed of a mission yet. And he also felt at peace since everyone had gone to the Underworld for the holidays. Issei. It's been a great vacation since it's quiet without them bothering you. He said it while he was restrained. While in the Underworld the leaders were waiting for someone. And Seraphol was bored at the table. and someone approaches her. Gabriel. Seraphol, something's wrong with you. Seraphol. Nothing's wrong with me, it's just that I'm bored, it's just paperwork and meetings. Gabriel. I can't deny that it is. Seraphol. I want you to finish this meeting quickly and maybe give him a call later. Gabriel. To whom? Seraphol. To Issei. Gabriel. Because. Seraphol. To go out again, the truth was it was fun last time. Gabriel. I could see it on Griselda's face when she returned. Seraphol. Well, it's the truth. Gabriel. And what will they do? Seraphol began to think. Seraphol. I won't tell Issei to decide since he would never have been amused if he had seen it that day. Gabriel. Really, I see. Seraphol. Yes, he has never had fun since you know he didn't have a good childhood. Gabriel. I can ask you a favor. Seraphol. Yes, I can, of course. Gabriel. I can go with you. As he put on a smile, Seraphol was shocked to hear that. Seraphol. Because. Gabriel. I hardly go out and well, he is a good person, I could see that. Seraphol. I know, but it's okay, I'll let you know when that day comes and I'll also tell Griselda. Gabriel just nodded. They were going to continue talking, but then Odin arrived. The rest happens just like the anime, Loki's attack and the group's going to fight. All the leaders look through a hologram. Odin. Those guys could handle Loki. Surzich. I've been training for a long time. Azazel. Yes, but not so much, they didn't take it very seriously. Surzich. Yes, pride won them. Well, he gave a big sigh. Odin. I see. But I see that this angel can help along with Raswisi. Michael. Irina has trained day by day to get ahead. Gabriel. Yes, it is true. Azazel. If that boy were here, the truth would be calmer. Odin. What boy are you talking about? Surzich. The younger brother of Ria's pawn and Sona's pawn's sister. Odin. And because he is not in any of his entourage. Azazel. It's because the boy is human. Odin. Then how would he help? Seraphol. Hey, don't say that, Issei is human, but he can surprise you. Odin. You trust him. Seraphol. If he is very strong, he beat up the Hikaryukoi. Odin was surprised to hear that made him more curious. He was going to speak, but they saw Loki come out of the pocket dimension, and they started to fight. After a few minutes they saw that they were having a difficult time. Odin. They are having a difficult time, if they continue like this they could die. Surzich. Yes. Seraphol. We have to call Issei. The others hesitated a little but finally agreed. Seraphol stood up and created a magic circle to go find Issei. Meanwhile Issei was cooking, it was already late while he was doing it, he was singing something. At that he sees a blue circle and he got into a fighting pose. But he sees Seraphol come out. Issei. Seraphol, that brings you here. Seraphol. Issei, can you come with me Underworld? The boys went to fight with Loki and he is not doing very well. Issei. Okay, if I can help, I'll go. Give me a minute. He went to get his clothes and they left. They arrived at the meeting with the other leaders. Surzich. Issei, thank you for coming. Issei. It's fine the way they are. At that Surzich shows him the hologram and Issei sees that he is doing badly for them. Issei. I see how I got there. Juka. I will create a magic circle and send you a little away from there. Issei. I understand, send me now. Odin. Boy, you're not even afraid, he's a god. Issei. If I can do something I will do it. Well, he put on a smile at that he enters the magic circle and leaves. In the fight the two entourages are doing very badly. Irina. Cough cough, this is serious, it's very strong. Zenobia. Don't give up. Ross. Odin-sama will soon send Thor-sama's hammer. Rias. Don't be weak and help. With a serious face. Irina made a somewhat angry face since she saw that her entourage was not very well, except her pawn hero, who was on the ground all injured. She didn't say anything, she got up and she was going to go fight, but everyone saw her come out, a magic circle was created and everyone saw someone come out. Irina. Issei. Chapter 17. Irina was surprised to see Issei in the distance. She was going to say something, but someone beat her to it. Loki. Seriously, they sent a human, hahaha, how sad. Issei just put on a serious face. Issei. Never underestimate your rival god Loki. At that Issei took off his red cape, revealing his muscles. Issei. I hope you're ready. At that Issei starts walking and Loki was bored, so he sends Fenrir to attack. Fenrir went to attack Issei still walking calmly. When he arrived Issei only made a fist, giving him a big blow on the snout, sending everything wounded to fly. Loki was surprised to see how injured Fenrir was, he became angry and sent the others to attack. While in the room, Odin stood up all surprised. Odin. Since he did that with just one blow he left him injured like that. Fenrir is one of the most dangerous beasts in the world. Azazel. I told you, that boy is full of surprises. Odin. What kind of magic does he have to have that kind of strength? Azazel. You won't believe it, but just training is pure effort. Odin was surprised to hear that and continued watching. In the fight Issei was beating up Loki's relatives. At that one of Fenrir's sons was going to attack him from behind, but Issei pulled out his katana at great speed and killed him, leaving everyone shocked by such speed. Loki was very angry and threw many attacks at him. Issei dodged them at great speed. Loki? How the hell you have so much strength and speed? The only thing Issei said. Issei. Training. Taking a big jump and hitting him hard in the face, making Loki spit out a lot of blood as he fell to the ground. Issei without waiting started to walk, and Loki does the same. He starts running like crazy and tries to hit him. Issei easily dodged him while he gave him a big blow. In the stomach. Loki couldn't believe a human was hurting him. Issei didn't let him talk and started hitting him, falling to the ground all in pain. In the room the leaders were all surprised to see that Issei was beating up Loki. Azazel. That boy is on another level, not even Loki can beat him. Odin. I don't believe it either. Well, he was still shocked. In the fight Arena was happy to see him and Ross was open-mouthed seeing how Issei was beating up Loki. Just then he receives a message. Ross. Poor Sama's hammer has already arrived, but whoever can use it, Rhea's pawn is injured and won't be able to. Arena. I'll tell Issei. Ross. But the hammer is already configured so that only he can take it. Arena. Issei will be able to. At that he tries to get Issei's attention. He notices and sees her. Issei. Something's wrong Arena. Arena. Issei takes that hammer and hits Loki with it. The hammer will do the rest. Issei just nodded and started running to where the hammer arrived. Loki. Haha, you won't be able to use it. Well, he smiled. Those in the room. Odin. Loki is right, only that girl's pawn could use it. Seraphol. Trust him. Without stopping seeing the hologram. While in the fight, Issei didn't care about it and grabbed the hammer and raised it, leaving everyone shocked at that. Issei began to walk with the hammer in his hand as he began to grow bigger and bigger. Loki was scaring as he wondered who he was. Loki? Who are you? Issei. Just a human. At that he begins to swing the hammer and gives a big blow to Loki, pointing at him, leaving everyone in shock for such a thing. Then that there would be a dimensional gap and Vali's group comes out. Issei looks up and looks at Lefay and without thinking he speaks to her. Issei. Lefay, how are you? He said it almost shouting while the group was on the mountain and everyone looked down and saw him. Vali was angry seeing him. And Lefay was surprised to see him. Lefay. Issei, what are you doing here? Issei. Well, they called me to fight against that god called Loki, but I'm done. Well, he put the hammer on his shoulder. The team was surprised to learn that. Issei. Lefay, you're on the enemy side, no. While making a somewhat sad face. Lefay didn't know what to say since it was true, and when she saw Issei's face she felt something hurt in her heart. But I hear something. Issei. I hope you return to the good side one day, I will be waiting for you. While putting on a smile. Lefay just smiled and attended, the others had already captured Fenrir, and they all left. Lefay, being the last one, turned around and gave a smile to Issei as she said goodbye. The silence returned. Issei put the hammer on the ground and started walking. But out of nowhere someone hit him hard in the face, leaving him crashing into a rock. Arena without thinking ran out to where Issei was. In the meeting room they were happy about the defeat when they saw how someone hit Issei. They were surprised to see who he was. Odin. What's wrong with that boy, she's not his brother. Seraphol. This is not good, we should go. She stood up and created a magic circle going to the place. The leaders did the same. Arena. What's wrong hero? Hero. That idiot just came to steal everything. We already had everything worked out and he comes and takes it all. Arena. What are you talking about? If you were the most injured of the group, you were the first to fall. Someone else spoke about that. Riaz. Don't talk to him like that. She said it, all angry. Arena didn't know what to say. She saw that Issei was getting up. Issei. I only came because someone asked me, just that. Hero was angry they took away his moment of glory because of how angry his armor was and went against Issei. Issei just gave a sigh and gave him a big punch in the stomach, destroying his armor and making him spit blood. Riaz was angry, she was going to say something, but then many magic circles appeared and the leaders came out. They saw that Hero was on the ground clutching his stomach. They saw him getting up little by little. Hero? You're just a useless person that no one wants, you've never had friends. She said it with a smile, and the others just listened. Hero? You will always be alone, no one will love you. Who is going to love a simple poor human hahaha. Issei only had a downcast gaze that covered his hair. Hero? You're just a nuisance who shouldn't have been born. Those words hurt Issei a little. Arena, Seraphol and Gabriel became angry at those words. Issei was a little upset hearing that, since he saved them all and so they thank him. Seraphol was going to speak, but Issei beat her to it. Issei. Seraphol, can you send me home please? Well, she gave him a smile. Seraphol could see that he was faking it. Gabriel could see how sad he felt and she shed a tear when she saw that. Irina wanted to cry. Seraphil just nodded and created a magic circle since he saw that he didn't want to be there. Issei. Thank you. And so on. Leaving a silence and still Hero with a smile as well as Ria since he left. But someone started walking towards them. Chapter 18. Someone started walking towards Hero and Ria's and when they arrived they gave Hero a big slap. Everyone had their mouths open when they saw who he was. Gabriel. You are a monster, how you dare to speak like that to such a kind person. Having a serious face. No one believed that she would make that face since she always has a happy face. Michael didn't know what to say and Hero was upset since a beautiful woman was defending a useless man. But he didn't have the courage to speak as Gabriel expelled the aura from him and Hero couldn't move. After a few seconds he stopped doing it and turned around, saw his brother and left in a light. Riaz came out to where he was and helped him up. Riaz. Oni-sama, you will let this happen. Surzich. I have nothing to say, better go, we'll fix this. Riaz, all angry, left with her group just like Sona. Irina. Michael-sama, I can leave. I want to see Issei. Michael. Okay, you can go. Seraphil. I'll go with you. See you. Walking away to Irina without waiting for a response. Auden. I didn't think they hated the boy so much. Azazel. That's how his family doesn't want him. Auden. Because. Azazel. Just because he is human and he is stronger than him he doesn't want to accept it. Roswisi just listened in silence. Michael. Issei has had a hard life but she knew how to get ahead and now she saw what she is like. Auden. I realized something in the fight. Surzich. What a thing. Auden. That boy wasn't giving his all. The others were shocked when they heard that. Azazel. How is that possible if Loki is a god? Auden. I know but you saw Loki never touched him and his blows were powerful but even so he didn't give his all. Surzich. I see how much he will save us. Auden. We don't know but he is strong. And the others just nodded. Meanwhile Vali's group were on a mountain. Everyone watched as Vali destroyed something. Kuroka. When will we leave here? Iku. Who knows, he's been like this since he saw that boy. Arthur. You should know that he beat him up when he was just a human and he also beat up a god. Kuroka. But besides being strong, he is also handsome. Lefay, upon hearing that, gave her a serious look and Kuroka could feel that look. Kuroka. Lefay, don't look at me like that, it hurts. Lefay. You must know why. Kuroka. And if we share it. Lefay just put on a serious look. Lefay. I'm leaving, I'm tired of being here. Creating a spell and leaving the place. Arthur. He's become like this since he saw him. Iku. And if he decides to go with, what will you do? Arthur. Easy, will know what I'm capable of. Kuroka. Ha 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 ha, I don't think you'd even scratch him if a god couldn't, but you. Arthur said nothing and continued waiting. Meanwhile two girls appeared in a small dark apartment. Irina. Because this place is so hot. Seraphil. Issei doesn't pay electricity. Irina. I see but he is not here where he will be. Seraphil. Let me see where he is. He begins to concentrate, it took a few seconds until they stopped him. Seraphil. It's on a hill. Irina. I know where we're going. With that, the two left the place, a few minutes passed and when they arrived they saw Issei standing there watching the sunset. They called him. Issei turns around and when he does so the girls are surprised to see him crying. Issei. Girls, what brings you here? While he wiped away his tears. Seraphil and Irina ran over and gave him a hug, laying him on the ground. A few seconds passed and they got up. Everyone was silent. Issei. Sorry, you saw me in such a sorry state. While he scratched the back of his neck. Irina. It's good to vent Issei but not doing it alone. Seraphil. If Issei tries to talk to someone, don't keep it to yourself. Issei just put on a smile. Issei. Thank you for coming, you are good people. Irina. I will always listen to you and you know that those words are lies. Seraphil. You are a very important person for us and other people. Issei. Being told that doesn't make someone happy, haha. Irina. Issei, tell me why you didn't defend yourself from that blow, you could have done it. Issei. If I had done it, the whole group would have attacked me and I don't like unnecessary fights. Seraphil. Issei, tell me, do you want to fight with him? Issei. Not for what? Seraphil. This way you calm down, you don't lose anything serious after the raiding games. Issei thought about it for a bit. Issei. Would it be possible that not only demons can participate in fights? Seraphil. Issei, you know who you're talking to. Issei. A cute magical girl. Seraphil only had a blush that he knew how to quickly remove. Seraphil. What a joker, but also. I am a Mayu and I can do it. Issei. Then I leave it in your hands. Irina. You'll do well, show who you are. Issei. Thank you. I already feel less well, whoever wants to go to dinner, I'll invite you. The two raised their hands and the three of them headed towards a restaurant. The days passed and it was quiet. One night Issei was lying down and a magic circle appeared. Issei. Graphia, long time no see. Graphia. I say the same as estate. Issei. Very good, thank you and you. Graphia. Very well, I come from the leaders, they want me to go on a mission. Issei. Okay, let's go. He got out of bed and they both went to the underworld. Seconds passed and they both arrived at the meeting room. Issei looks and sees a new person. Issei. Hello everyone. I saw you last time, but I didn't have time to introduce myself. I'm Issei. Odin. Boy, I see that you are doing well. I am Odin, leader of the Nordic faction. Issei. I see an old taste. The others' eyes widened when they heard that, they were going to say something, but Odin stepped forward. Odin. Ha 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 ha, I like you boy, I see that you don't care about titles. Issei. Titles are titles, but I talk to people not with titles. Odin. I see. Issei. Well, they need me. Surzich. Issei, there is a new S-rank mission for you, you can do it. Issei. If I don't try I won't know but I'll go. Surzich. I see you have to go Italy to a forest. Issei. Because it's always a forest. Azazel. The renegades feel more free to capture people there. Michael. They hide better. Issei. I understand and who will go with me? I'll go. Issei. Griselda, it's been a while, I'm glad I'll be in your care. Griselda. I say the same thing, let's do our best. Issei just nodded. Michael. They will leave tomorrow morning, the sooner the better. So you can go on your trip. Issei. I understand, Irina told him no. Michael just nodded. Odin. Issei will go with you, it will be better. At that Issei took a step. Ross. I'll be taking care of him. Issei. I say the same, I will be in your care. Azazel. Well said. Issei, I found out that you fought with Hero. Issei. It was possible. Seraphil. Of course I told you I could do it. Issei. I see, I'll be ready for that day. Surzich. Well, but there is still a long way to go. Issei. I know but there's no rush. Well, I'll go rest, see you later. Surzich. Okay Graphia, yes. Graphia just nodded and they both left. On the arrival at home. Issei. Thank you for bringing me. Graphia. No way, it's okay. Issei. Graphia, I heard that you are the strongest queen of the underworld, that sounds great. Graphia. Thank you but I'm not on her level. Issei. Hahaha, thank you also that you are Surzich's wife because you act as a servant. Graphia. You. Issei. Call me Issei, I feel old that you bring me like this. Graphia. Okay Issei, I can tell you a secret. I say it because I trust you. Issei. Thank you, I will take care of that trust. Graphia. The truth is Surzich is not my husband, that is false. Issei didn't expect that. Issei. But how about that child? Graphia. You talk about military because it's just acting, I'm just the queen of Surzich Sama, it's just working everything. Issei. I see, I'm really surprised by all this. Graphia. I can see it. While putting on a smile. Issei. You look better with a smile, you should smile more often. Graphia blushed a little. Graphia. I must be serious about my work. Issei. I see but when you are with me you will do it. Graphia. Maybe. Putting on a smile. Issei. Hahaha, I like it that way. Graphia. Well, I have to leave, I have work. Issei. Before you leave one day we can go out with my friends. Graphia. Talk about Seraphil Sama, Griselda Sama, and Irina Sama. Issei. Yes, it will be fun, you tell me. Graphia. If you inform me in time, maybe yes. Issei just nodded and left the place. It was already late. Issei cooked something and went to sleep. Chapter 19. Issei was at the airport waiting for the girls to start their mission. Minutes later, he saw that one arrived. Issei. Hello Issei, are you ready? Ross. Yes. Issei. You didn't want to come, right? Ross. Don't get it wrong, it's the first time I've left Asgard, the underworld doesn't count. Issei. I understand, if you have questions, tell me. Issei just nodded and then Griselda arrived. Issei. Hello Griselda. Griselda. Hello, ready. Issei just nodded and the three went to buy their tickets and waited for a few minutes, then took their flight that lasted a few hours. Upon arrival they rented a car and headed to the place. Issei. It's a nice city here. How long will it take us to arrive? Griselda. About an hour and a half. Issei. I understand it's a long time. Ross. Issei, can I ask you a question? Issei. Yes. Ross. How come he's so strong? Issei. I trained Issei, I trained for many years to get to where I am, but I can't continue anymore, I reached my limit. Ross. But you can break those boundaries. Issei. I know what you mean. You tell me to join a faction, no. Ross. Something like that. Issei. It won't be possible. I want to stay like this. I want to show that humans also know how to defend themselves. Ross. There's a point, I know he'll make it. Issei. I thought you were going to laugh like the rest of the people. Ross. Everyone has a dream and yours is amazing. Issei. Thank you. Griselda. I see that they are going to get along well. Issei. True. Ross, we see you want to be my friend. Ross. Sounds good, then you can call me Ross. Issei. I will. Griselda. Issei, what Michael Sama said, what are you going to do? Issei. Oh, the second years are going on a trip to Kyoto very soon. I'm excited, it's a good place and it's gone. Griselda. Once, but it was on a mission, I couldn't see much of the place. Issei. I understand. Griselda, you don't get bored of doing missions. Griselda. That's not how I stay busy. Issei. I see. From what I heard, you are Odin's bodyguard, it's true. Ross. Yes, I am. Issei. Because he needs a bodyguard if he is strong. Ross. He doesn't like doing his job and he needs someone to watch him. Issei. I see, that sounds more like a babysitter than anything else. The two girls just let out a light laugh at what was said. Ross. You know how to use the sword, Issei. Issei. I don't really have a katana, but I don't usually use them. Ross. Because. Griselda. When she uses it she kills anyone who crosses her quickly. Ross. That's true, Issei. Issei. Yes, since I hardly know how to use it since no one taught me. Griselda. I will help you, but I'm afraid that you will destroy mine with your strength. Issei. You have so little trust in me. Griselda. Just kidding, of course I trust you. Issei. And I thank you. Ross. It's true that you're going to fight with your brother. Issei. He wishes it, I have no choice but to fulfill his wish. Griselda. You let him win. Issei. If I do that it would only cause his ego to grow more. It's time to get him down from that cloud. Ross. You leave him dead if you're serious. Issei. That would be impossible. Ross. Because. Issei. I've never been seriously in a fight. Well, he looked out the window and the two girls didn't know what to respond. Ross. But you fought with Fenrir and Loki. Issei. Yes, but I thought that he would help me break my limits, but in the end nothing happened. Ross. What you want is to get beat up. Issei. Of course not, but when a person is tired that's where he breaks his limits and can move forward. Griselda. It is for that reason that you accept the missions. Issei. Exactly, maybe I'll end up finding someone. Ross. I hope that day never comes. Because if it passes it would mean that he would be very powerful. Griselda. Ross, we see is right, Issei, you are almost at the level of a Mayu in brute force. But you don't know how to defend yourself from magic. Issei. I'll worry about that when the time comes. Ross. You seem very relaxed despite what we're talking about. Issei. Do you want me to get hysterical and scream no? Ross. That would be fun to see. Issei. Now you express yourself better than before, I'm glad. Ross. It's been a while since I talked to someone so freely. Griselda. I say the same thing. Issei. But what about Gabriel, isn't she also your friend? Griselda. Yes it is, but there are times she is busy and I am on missions and there is no time to talk. Issei. I understand, but you should talk to her, otherwise she would feel sad if she knows this. Griselda. I know. Ross. Well, we'll get there soon. Issei. How big is the enemy's base? Griselda. According to the reports, it's big, there are hundreds in there. Issei. I understand this will be annoying the more you are forced to concentrate. Griselda. But you have fought alone with an army. Ross. That's great. Issei. I took them by surprise so they didn't know who attacked them. Ross. Good, and who will be the leader? Issei. Decide between you two, I'm not good at giving instructions. The two girls looked at each other. Minutes passed and they arrived at the place to start walking and looking for their destination. Issei. Well, we're going to settle here and after the first attack we'll go to a new place. Ross. From the map they gave us there are many places where we can hide for a while. Issei. I understand. Griselda. We have to be moving if they surround us, it wouldn't be easy to get out of the situation. Issei. Well, get ready, we'll leave in 10 minutes. At that they nod and Issei put on his usual suit. Griselda. I'm ready. Issei. It's the first time I see you in your suit, you look cute. Griselda. Thank you. With a slight blush. Ross. Well, I'm ready, I hope it goes well. Issei. You look good, last time I couldn't see you. Ross. Thanks, I say the same. At that point the three head towards the first place to attack. After a walk they arrive. Issei. Well, I'll go in front and you guys follow me behind. Ross. I thought you didn't want to be the leader. Issei. Just for today. He leaves the place and starts running. When a fallen man sees it, he only feels a great pain in his stomach since Issei had given it to him. Maintaining it. Ross. Wow, how strong. Griselda. Yes, but let's go too. Both Griselda leaves the place with sword in hand and Ross we see creating several magic circles. Issei quickly killed every renegade that crossed his path without mercy. No one could stop him since he was very fast, and when they attacked him with magic he moved from the spot. Those who used swords could neither touch him nor attempt to attack him by surprise. Griselda killed several easily. Just like whatifissei with many magic circles. Thus they fought for a good moment until there was none left. That's when the three meet. Issei. Do you feel any nearby? Ross. Several are coming, we're leaving. Issei. Really quickly before they discover us. They begin to run at high speed away from the place. In search of their new place of information minutes later they arrive and Ross creates an illusion so that they do not see the cave. Issei. That's great whatifissei. Ross. Thank you. And how you feel after the fight? Issei. Well thanks to you it was faster and you are not tired. Ross. Not much, I still have magic. Griselda. I can still continue. Issei. But we have to rest tomorrow. We make a plan and attack. They just nod. They make some dinner and then two go to sleep and another stands guard for the next day of the attack. Chapter 20. It was a new day and Issei was making coffee. Since he spent the whole day on surveillance until someone woke up. Griselda. Issei, why didn't you wake me up to change? Issei. You looked comfortable sleeping. Griselda. But you're so tired. Issei. I'm not used to not sleeping much at all so this is nothing. Because of the voices whatifissei slowly got up. Ross. Issei, don't tell me you're not asleep. Issei. I'm fine. Come and prepare the coffee. They both approach and Issei gave them each a cup. Ross. Issei, where did you get all this from? Issei. I always come prepared, the truth is. Griselda. I can see it. Issei. Well, tell me what's on today. Griselda. Well, with the mess we made yesterday, we still have to climb the lair further. Ross. So this time it will be more difficult to attack them by surprise. Griselda. Yes, we will try to attack in the afternoon. Issei. I understand but what will we do all morning? Griselda. Just wait for that. Issei. Okay. Ross. Issei, why don't you cut your hair? Issei. I won't lie to you, I like it that way. Does not fit. Ross. It looks great on you. Issei. Thank you. Griselda. So early and already flirting. Whatifissei blushed when she heard that and Issei just put on a smile. Issei. Leaving that aside. Griselda, you should let us know how the mission is going. Griselda. I will do it when we finish the mission because if I do, the enemy could see our position. Issei. I hadn't seen it like that, sorry for the question. Griselda. Okay, it's not your fault. Hey Issei, and you have a partner. Issei. Not really. They were surprised to hear that. Issei. It's so strange. And you have. Griselda. I don't have much time for that, plus no man I know is qualified. Exactly you. Issei. I see they must be high standards. Griselda. Maybe. Issei. And you Ross. Ross. Well, I've never had a boyfriend since I've been busy being a bodyguard. Well, he made a circle with his finger in the cup. Issei. You're pretty, you must have some suitors. No. Ross. Not really. Issei. I see but you will find someone soon, don't worry. Ross. Thank you. Griselda. Good. Already leaving the topic of couples. Where will we go next to have fun? Issei. Issei. I have no idea, that would be when returning from the school trip. Only this time more people will go. Griselda. Who? Issei. Grafia and Ross will if she wants. Ross. I'll be happy to go. Griselda. I'm a little surprised that you're friends with her. Since she is very serious. Issei. Seriously. Griselda. With you, the truth is normal. Issei just laughed at what was said. Ross. Issei, why do you always wear gloves? Issei. Easy. She starts to take them off and they look at her hands and they were both surprised since she had some scars. Ross. If you want I can take them off. Issei. It's not good like this. Griselda. But. Issei. This was the result of my effort so it's okay. Both girls just nodded. It happened tomorrow and they were getting ready to go out again. Issei. Well, they're ready. They both nodded and left the place to go on the attack. They spent half an hour walking until Griselda stops them. Griselda. There are presences near here and they are many. Issei. Well, we just have to go on the attack, no. Griselda. Yes, you're in a hurry, no. Issei. What can I say, haha. Ross. Well, we should go, no. Griselda. It won't be necessary, they are already coming, they have us surrounded. At that, the three get into an attack position and at that moment a demon comes out to attack, but Issei hits him. She leaves him on the ground, then she jumps and hits again, keeping him a little surprised by his enemies. Issei without thinking further went out to attack his enemies, taking out his katana. Since she wanted to try something new. At that point, several approach him and Issei begins to attack. When the renegades saw that it only gave them a chill and they could see a cold look. By killing. The girls were surprised by such a way of killing, but they quickly got out of that thought and went on the attack as well. Issei killed everyone he crossed, some cutting off their legs and others their heads. Several cast magic at her, but she dodged it easily. He approaches one that is bigger than him, but he doesn't even flinch and goes on the attack, hitting him several times. With each blow he made a hole and then fell dead. Some were scared and tried to escape, but Issei didn't let them and killed them any easier. Many screams could be heard and others were asking for mercy, but Issei didn't say a word the entire fight. When they finished, the girls had some minor injuries, but Issei had nothing. Only blood from his enemies started to rain, and no one said anything. Until Issei spoke. Issei. It's the first time they've seen me like this, right? She said it without seeing them. Issei. I didn't scare them. Griselda. Issei, we were in a battle and those types of expressions are normal so don't worry. Ross. It's true, and they deserved it for the things they did. Issei. I see. Turning around and giving them a smile that made them both blush, but because of the rain you couldn't see it well. Issei. Well, I think we'll have to go home, no. Griselda. Yes, since I don't feel any presence around me. Issei. Well that was it. It's better if we go home. Ross. Yes. Issei. A question. Ross. Yes. Issei. You guys can come back in magic circles because you don't. Griselda. Because if we did, you would be alone and maybe get lost. Issei. You talk to me like I'm a little child. Griselda. A little, but let's go so we can get back to the house quickly. They both just nodded and went to the place where they left the car. When they arrived, they changed and headed to the airport. Time passed and the group was already at Ku Airport again. Issei. Finally home, it was a long trip, right? Ross. Yes, it was a bit long, but it finally ended. They were about to leave and Griselda received a call. Issei didn't say anything until she finished speaking. Issei. Griselda, something happens. Griselda. Well, Riaz and his group were in a raiding game and it was a trap. Now many renegade demons and fallen angels are attacking them. Surzich-sama and Azazel-sama and Aden-sama are there too. Ross. We should go. Griselda. Maybe, but they won't be enough, you don't think? Issei. It's better to prevent. I would like to go help but I can't, you know. Griselda. Don't worry. Thus giving him a paper with a magic circle. Griselda. Put a little of your blood and it will take you there. When you arrive I will take you to the place of the fight. Issei. Well, see you there. So biting his thumb and putting in a little of her blood. They were in an alley if you're wondering. Seconds later the panel glowed and he was teleported away. Both girls saw each other and left too. When Griselda arrives, she takes out her wings and takes Issei, and Issei uses flight magic to go too. Minutes later they arrived and saw many. At that point they descended. Issei. Wow, there are many. Ross. Issei, what are you going to do? Issei. Well, I'll go help a little, see you later. He starts running and makes a big jump that surprises both girls a little, so they both also went to help. Chapter 21. When Issei arrived he took on several of them and began to hit them in a boxing style. Just then someone approaches her. Azazel. What a boy it was when you came back from your mission. Issei. The truth is, not long ago when I was about to go home, Griselda received a call and well, here I am. Azazel. I understand. Creating a spear of light and throwing it at a demon. At that Issei looks at someone. Issei. Azazel, what's a girl here? Azazel. What a girl. At that, Issei pointed his finger at someone who was floating. Azazel looked at him there. And when he saw her he turned almost pale. Azazel. Idiot. You don't know who she is. Issei just shook his head. Azazel. This is Officer Obris, the dragon goddess of infinity. Issei was surprised at that. She gave a half smile that Azazel didn't like. She was going to say something, but it was too late. Issei. Hello, Office. She said it shouting and then she looks at Issei and Azazel starts to go down. Seeing that, she feels like she almost fainted. Just then she arrives and remains silent. Issei. Hello. What are you doing here? Office. Just watching. Issei. I see. Office. You're not afraid of me. Issei. Because I would have. Office. When everyone sees me they leave or become like him. Signaling to Azazel that he was about to faint. Issei. Well, but I just wanted to know what you were like. Office. You're weird. Issei. Seriously. You're the weird one for dressing like that. Office did not say. Azazel thought he had gotten angry. Issei. Well, I just wanted to say hello, I hope to see each other one day. Office just nodded and left into a dimensional gap. Azazel. Hey, aren't you afraid of death or what? Well, she took him by the shoulders and began to move him. Issei. Because you say so. Azazel. You were casually talking to Office. Issei. What a. He didn't finish because just then he heard a loud roar and he turned around and saw a big red dragon. Issei. What is that? Azazel. It's Hero who entered the Jumjunit Drevid. Issei. What is that? Azazel. It is when the bearer of it lets herself be guided by her hatred, and well, there you can see the result. Issei. And how she stops. Azazel. Leaving him unconscious perhaps. But don't worry, look. At that she points and Issei could see white armor and it grew bigger. Issei. That's the one from last time, no. Azazel. Well, he can, and with that done we can return home. Issei just nodded but saw one of her friends in the distance and smiled. Issei. I'll go see someone, see you later. At that point he starts running, leaving Azazel alone. At that point he leaves. A few seconds later Issei arrives where she wanted. Issei. Hello, Lefay. Upon hearing that voice, she turns around like the rest of the group, putting on a smile. Lefay. Issei, it's been a while. Issei. Yes, the last time I saw you was when I fought that Loki. At that someone pretended to cough and Issei sees it. Lefay too and just sighs. Lefay. Issei, leave me and I'll introduce you, this is Kuroka. Kuroka. Hello, Issei. Issei. Hello. He reaches out for her hand and Kuroka takes it too. Lefay. This is Biku. Issei. I saw you once but I don't remember. Biku? It was when you left Volley almost dead, hahaha. Issei. I see. So both of them shaking hands. Lefay. And he is my older brother Arturo. Issei. My pleasure. She stretched out her hand to him but he didn't even speak to her and he turned around leaving Issei ignored. And a somewhat angry Lefay. Lefay. Leave it and tell me what you did. Issei. I recently came from a mission and well I heard about a battle here so I came. And you? Lefay. Well, we were there and that's when Volley wanted to come here. Issei. I see. Oh, look there. He didn't finish because someone hit him hard in the face, sending him flying, leaving those present surprised since it was Volley. Lefay. Hey, what did you do? Volley. Well, he owed me. Finally I was able to do it. Putting on a smile. But she goes away when she hears him speak. Issei. Wow, that was something fast, I didn't see it coming. Volley. How come you're still alive? I hit you hard. Issei. What can I say is luck. At that Volley activates his armor again and tries to hit him again, but Issei only raises his arm with a fist and when they collide, Volley's arm is destroyed. And due to his speed, ends up hitting him in the stomach, destroying his armor and leaving him unconscious. The others, upon seeing that, just let their jaws drop as he easily knocked him out. Issei. I'm sorry but he attacked me first. Lefay. He's fine thanks to his demon blood and Albion will be fine I think. Kuroka. Wow, you are strong. Tell me you don't want to have kittens with me. Hearing that, Issei just raised an eyebrow and Lefay hit Kuroka on the head. Kuroka. Hey, why did you do that? Lefay. So that you don't talk nonsense, we also have to leave, more people are coming. At that Biku approaches Issei and takes Volley's body and leaves. Before leaving, Lefay approaches Issei and gives him a hug. Lefay. See you someday. Issei. Take it for granted. Thus she leaving with her team. That's when the rest arrive. Ross. Issei, don't tell me you know that group. Issei. Only Lefay is a childhood friend. Irina. You have another one. Issei. They both are, yes. Irina. I know. Surzich. I wasn't expecting you here. Issei. Well, Griselda, I got caught up in this and came with them. Surzich. I see, and how about the mission? Issei. There were many, but with the help of the two of them, I was able to get ahead. Auden. Hey Issei, we can talk for a while. Issei. Sure. They both separated from the group. Issei. Something's wrong. Auden. Well, it's a favor, you see, there are some ice giants that will attack us soon, my soldiers have kept an eye on me and. Issei. I'll help you, don't worry. Auden. Thank you and sorry for the inconvenience. Issei. Okay. And when would it be? Auden. From my reports it won't be long. But don't worry, maybe after your trip you can enjoy yourself a little. Since you just came from a mission. Issei. Thank you, when the time comes, tell me and I'll be there. Auden just nods and they both return to the others. Auden begins to talk to the leaders and Issei is approached by Ross, Griselda and Irina. Ross. Issei, what was Auden-sama telling you about? Issei. He wants me to help him against some ice giants or something. Ross. Issei, but they are very dangerous and strong and there are many of them. Issei. I promised him I would help him. Furthermore, I will not be alone, I will be with his army. Irina. And when will you go? Issei. After the trip to Kyoto. Irina. I see. So we have to have fun on those days. Issei. Yes. Griselda. Issei would like to help you but. Issei. It's okay Griselda, I don't want you to get hurt, I'll be fine. Putting on a smile that made the three of them blush unintentionally. Griselda. Well, when we return, we'll go wherever you want with the others. Issei. Take it for granted. Irina Iras also no. Irina. Sure. And that the group went with the rest. And so everyone went to her house. Chapter 22. All the students were at the station about to take the train to Kyoto. Issei. This will be fun Arena, you already know where we're going. Arena. Don't worry, I have a map with many places. Issei. Great, but are you sure you're with me? You shouldn't go with your friends like Asia and Zenobia. Arena. It doesn't matter, besides, they are with Asami and the rest. Issei. I see, it's fine. Well, let's go up since they are calling us. Then they both get on the train and sit together. Arena. Issei, are you still sure about going on that mission to Asgard? Issei. Don't worry, several of us will go, and if something happens we'll leave, I know my limits, you know. Arena. I know, but I'm worried that something will happen to you. At that Issei takes her hand and she doesn't say anything. Issei. Arena, I'll be fine. If anyone needs my help, I'll give it to them. Arena. I know, I hope you come back quickly. Issei. Of course I will. Arena. Your hand is quality. Issei. Thank you, then I'll leave it like this, it bothers you. Arena. Not at all. As she takes it harder. Issei just puts on a smile. They talk about trivial things throughout the trip. After a few hours of travel they arrive at their destination. Issei. Wow, it's a nice place, don't you believe it? Arena. I know. Let's go with the rest. Issei just nods, they both go with the rest, get on a bus and take them to a hotel. They give Issei a normal ability that was enough for him. At that he leaves the room and joins the rest of the students so that the teacher can't speak. Azazel. Well, you have the afternoon free, you can go wherever you want. But come back early. The students just give a big shout confirming that everyone disperses. Issei goes to where Arena is. Issei. Okay, and where do we go first? Arena. Let's see. Taking out a map on her cell phone and seeing some places. Arena. Well, there are some places where they sell various things, how about we go there? Issei. Sounds good, plus I have to buy souvenirs for the others. Arena. Well, let's go. They both start walking, and the Gremory group just watches them leave. Issei and Arena walked around the place while Issei took photos with a camera. Issei. It's amazing, don't you believe it? Arena. It is, and it is a very quiet city. Issei. Yes, but I also remember that Seraphil was going to come, but I don't know when. Arena. It's true since they want to make an alliance with the Yakase. Issei. That's good. The more the better, no. Arena. Yes, maybe more later we'll see them. Issei. Sure. Well, let's go buy some things. Arena just follows him with a smile and they go to several stores where Issei buys some bracelets for the girls. After that they went for a walk going up many steps and there were many trees. Issei. How relaxing, don't you think? Arena. You are absolutely right. They arrived like a small temple and both were there for a few minutes until someone spoke to them. You're not from around here, right? They both turn around. And Issei decides to speak. Issei. We are not from Ku, we come on an excursion. I see. You are an angel, right? Pointing to Arena. Arena. Sure. I see. Issei. If you're here it's for something, I don't think it's just to say hello, right? You're right. Issei. You can count on us, maybe we can help. But you. Issei. Yes, I'm just a human. You know, if they paid me for every time I listened to that I would have a lot of money, haha. I see, and sorry for that. Issei. Okay then. First I introduce myself, my name is Kanu. Issei. Nice to meet you, my name is Issei, and this is my friend Arena. Arena. My pleasure. Kanu. A pleasure too. Well, my mother has been kidnapped and the truth is I'm a little desperate and I went out to look for her and I don't know what to do. Releasing a tear. Issei. Too bad, and that's how long ago it was. Kanu. 2 days ago some guys came and took her away. The Dens couldn't do much. Issei. I understand and don't worry, we will help you. Kanu. Because they would do that. Issei. So that you don't feel sad, it also seems that you love your mother very much. Kanu. Of course I love her. Issei. And that's good. Well, how about we go talk to Azazel? Kanu. Who is he? Issei. He is the leader of the Fallen. And also a teacher who came with us, would you come? Kanu. Yes, and thank you very much. Issei. Okay, let's go. Arena, could you call Azazel to attend to us? Arena. Okay, while we walk I'll call him. Issei nods and the three start walking. Issei. I thought you would attack us, Kanu, when we were there. Kanu. The truth is I was going to do it, but since I only felt a sacred energy and a human one I didn't do much. But he wasn't sure if he was an angel or a fallen one. Arena. The difference is not much, you know. Kanu. I don't know much about that. I've never left Kyoto because of that. Issei. But this is not a nice place. Kanu. I don't deny it, it's true, it's a nice place. Arena. Issei, you make friends too quickly. Issei. Oh yes. It's always good to meet new people and learn about new places. Arena. I know. Kanu. You are a couple. 10. Irina turned red upon hearing that, but she did not deny it. Issei. Not that I know of. Putting on a smile. Irina only spoke in a whisper that only Kanu heard through her senses. Irina. Not for now. Kanu better not say anything, and they continued walking. Irina had already called Azazel and they went to the hotel. To a restaurant where he and Serafal were. Issei, upon seeing her, greeted her and she did the same. Issei. Serafal, I haven't seen you in a while. Serafal. Good job. Issei. I imagine so. Oh yeah. Pulling out a wooden bracelet she gives it to Serafal and she puts it on with a smile. Serafal. Thank you very much, I like it. Issei. Well, I'm glad for that. I also have the same one as Irina. Showing his. Azazel. Well, that was the important thing. He decided to speak since he felt uncomfortable. Issei. Oh yes, well, this is Kanu. She approaches and bows to the leaders. Hearing that name, she is surprised. Serafal. Nice to meet you. I was going to meet with your mother to talk about an alliance, but when I was at the castle gates they wouldn't let me enter. Kanu. What I know is that the problem is that my mother was kidnapped recently. When they heard that they became serious. Serafal. Do you have any idea who they were? Kanu. The only thing I know. It was that one of the dens managed to hear how one called the other cow cow. Azazel, upon hearing that name, became serious. The rest saw him and knew that he knew something. Issei. Azazel, you know something. Azazel. Well, not much, I only know that he and other people created a faction called the Hero Faction. They are also allied with the Cows Brigade. Issei. And how dangerous they are. Azazel. There isn't much information about them. So for now I just know that. And that he is the leader, so he must be someone very strong. Issei. I understand. But I promised to help Kanu look for his mother, so I will do it. Serafal. It's typical of you to see. I wish you luck, we will tell you something if we know. Issei. Well, we'll take Kanu to her house and let us know if they know anything. The two leaders just nod and the three young people leave the place towards the castle. Kanu. Irina, thank you very much. Issei. Don't say it, in the end we haven't done anything yet. Irina. It's true, tell us that when your mother is with you. Putting on a smile that Kanu returned on the way, they talked about various things until they reached her destination. Issei. Well, tomorrow morning we will come so we can go search. Kanu. Okay, see you. So entering his house and the two of them going to their hotel since it was a little late. Chapter 23. It was a new day and three people were going everywhere looking for one person. Issei. Kanu, you should eat something, it's late. Kanu. Okay. Issei. When we finish doing it we can continue, don't worry. Kanu. Thank you. So the three of them went to the nearest restaurant to eat. Irina. My question is why they kidnapped your mother, that they wanted her. Issei. I don't think it's just for money, really. Kanu. I don't know, I hope nothing happened to him. Head down. Issei gets up from her seat and sits next to her. And she caresses his head. Issei. Don't worry, she's fine and you'll see that we will find her. Kanu. Thanks for the encouragement. Issei. Whenever you want, that's not what friends are for. Kanu. Yes. At that point they called the waiter and ordered what they had, they talked a little and minutes later they brought them what they ordered. While they were eating a group approached them. Asami. Hello, Issei. Hearing that voice, Issei looked towards its origin. Issei. You need something. Asami. I was just passing by. At that she sets her sights on Kanu. Asami. And who is she? Issei. A friend I'm helping also needs something, I don't think you're just coming to say hello. Asami. True, I come to tell this girl to stay away from you. Kanu. Because she would. Asami. He's useless if you're with him, the only problems you'll have. Kanu. That would be my problem, not yours. Saji. You better change that attitude. Kanu. They had to be demons, always so arrogant. When the group heard those words they got angry, they were going to say something, but someone beat them to it. Azazel. You better not make a fuss. Asami. This girl is looking for trouble. Azazel. The ones who are looking for trouble are you, since she is Princess Kanu. When the group heard that, their eyes widened and they were a little scared since she can retaliate against them. Kanu. Just leave. The group without thinking twice left the place. Issei. It's good that you came on time, Azazel, if there were no problems. Azazel. You're welcome and good thing you found. Issei. For now we have looked for nothing all morning, but nothing. After eating we will continue. Azazel. I'll see if I discover something, I'll let you know. Leaving the place. About half an hour after eating the group went out to search again. Kanu. Issei, because that girl hates you. Issei. I don't know. Irina. It's easy, Kanu, she is her sister and she is jealous that Issei has achieved so many things without having magic or sacred gear like her and her brother. Kanu. I see. Issei doesn't mind that. Issei. No, Kanu has been ignored since he was little, so I'm fine. He never receives the love of a family, but he does receive the love of some good friends. Putting on a smile. They were walking along a bridge. Kanu was going to respond, but they saw that everything turned gray. And someone spoke to them. Wow, but if it's Princess Kanu, it's a pleasure. Kanu? Who are you? Excuse my manners, my name is Cao Cao. When they heard that name they were surprised, but Kanu was a little upset. Kanu? Give me back my mother. Cao Cao. When we finish we will make it clear to you that it will only be her corpse. Upon hearing that, Kanu fell to her knees and a few tears came out. Issei became serious. Issei. Hey, I don't know what problems you have with her mother, but you better give her back to her. Cao Cao. And you, a human with nothing special, will stop me, please don't make me laugh. Issei. My patience is a lot, but with people like you it is little. Cao Cao. As you say, well, I was just coming to inform you that, princess, we will return it to you soon. Leaving the place with a big smile. Time returned to its flow, and Issei approached Kanu and gave her a big hug, and she cried. Issei. Irina called Seraphil and Azazel, we have to meet now. Irina just nods and she goes to do it. Kanu. Issei, I'm going to lose my mother. She said it in sobs. Issei. No Kanu, you will see that we will find her and you will be with her very soon, so get up and let's go. Kanu gets up and wipes her tears and they go with Irina. The three of them headed towards the hotel where both the Gremory group and Citri were. Issei. Well Azazel, we met this guy named Cao Cao and he only told us that he was going to use the yokai leader for something, but he didn't say anything. Azazel. I see, but what does he have planned for me to say that? The group was serious since it was a serious situation. Issei. Kanu, where is the place where there is the most concentration of energy? Kanu. Not too far from here because. Issei. If my hypothesis is correct, if they plan something, I think they are going to need a lot of magic, don't you think, Azazel? Azazel. You have a point that can help us. Issei. It's good that several groups go in different directions so we cover more. Seraphil. Good plan, Issei. Asami. Wait, Seraphil Sama will listen to you. Seraphil. Maybe you have a better idea. Asami just stayed silent. Seraphil. Well, I thought so, so go ahead. Issei. I'll go alone so there are more groups. Kanu. Issei, I'll go with you please. Issei. Just because there is a rush, I don't say anything, let's go. Irina, please take care of yourself. She gives her a hug and just like that she leaves the place. Issei and Kanu were walking under a train station until she stops him. Kanu. Issei, wait, there's someone here. It's not easy to hide from a yokai. It was someone wearing very black armor like fog. Issei. Where is your leader? Because I would have to answer you. Issei. You know I'm in a bit of a hurry, so let's finish this. You are going to stop me, don't make me laugh. Issei didn't say anything and started walking towards him, and out of nowhere she jumped towards him, leaving a hole in the ground. The stranger did not know how to react in time and he received the blow squarely in the face. Even some teeth flew out. Kanu was surprised when she saw that, she didn't know what to say. Kanu. Wow, that was great. She said it to herself. She saw the state of the stranger and he was passed out and did not move. Issei. Kanu, come on, this isn't over yet. They started walking. While in one place someone was lying on a sofa and suddenly stands up suddenly. Garuka. You're finally awake. Ali. How long was I asleep? Garuka. I think a week minimum. When he heard that, his eyes widened. Ali. What do I eat? How is that possible? Iku. Well, you dealt a big blow to that boy out of nowhere that day we went to the Underworld. Ali. I remember that, and also that he was like he was swimming and. Iku. Yes, someone else came out to attack him, but he only collided with your fist and destroyed your arm. The truth is that it even hurt me, and then with the same arm he hit you in the stomach and you were unconscious. Ali. I'm going to kill him. Well, he clenched his fists with great force. Lefay. You better not do it again or else next time you might not come out alive. Ali. Which side are you on? Lefay. None, but he is my friend and if something happens to him because of you, he won't forgive you. Vali. Going to her room, leaving a great silence. While in Kyoto. Two people arrived at the scene. Issei. But what's happening? Kanu. They are forcing my mother to enter the fox phase of her. Issei. I see, stay here, yes. I'll go see. Kanu just nods and with that Issei leaves the place. Chapter 24. Issei went down to the big crater and she saw everyone fighting. Out of nowhere she saw how a large snake wrapped around the yokai leader. Issei. I hope they are allies. She kept walking and then her sight focused on a person and she was surprised. Issei went to where she was standing. Issei. Hey, what are you planning to do to Irina? Since the store in her arms. Oh, you're talking about Angel-chan. Well, she didn't give me much of a fight and I was going to throw her out there so she wouldn't get in the way. But I see that she is an acquaintance of yours. Issei. Yes, so give it to me. He approached her and grasped her two hands, and when he was going to take hers, she let him fall. "Oh, I dropped it, I'm sorry." Putting on a smile. Issei didn't say anything and just sat up to see. "Issei. She is still alive although she is weak." She said it with a half smile and then stood up with a serious face. Seeing that face gave her a big chill. "Issei. I don't really like fighting, but if it's for my friends I'll do it. And you think that a human with nothing can win over me, a descendant of Joan of Arc? Issei. I care who you are." At that he takes the sword that Irina had and gets into an attack position. And even at great speed the girl moved, she barely managed to defend herself from her, but her sword broke in two. Issei gave her a big kick in her stomach, sending her very far away from her. Issei slowly walked towards her. "Issei. What's your name?" She didn't answer, her stomach hurt. It wasn't until after a few seconds that she managed to speak. "My name is Jean, so what are you asking?" "Issei. Just curious, really." "Well, it's time for you to receive the same thing you did to Irina." While she was walking, Jean angrily created a large dragon made of swords. She put on a big smile as she thought that would be enough. She sends the dragon towards Issei, and he just stops and stabs the sword into the ground and extends his fist. When the dragon was close to Issei, he alone delivered the big blow, destroying the dragon completely, leaving Jean with her mouth open at what she saw. Issei takes out his sword again and follows her path. Jean, seeing him, got a little scared. "Jean. What the hell are you?" Issei continued walking until he was close to her. "Issei. Like you said, a simple human." "Jean. There's no way a human could have done that." "Issei. You despise yourself as a human too. But I don't have time to talk." Hitting her on the back of the head and leaving her unconscious. Issei begins to run quickly towards Irina, then he takes her in her arms and at great speed goes towards where Kanu is. "Issei. Kanu, please take care of her, I'll be back soon." "Kanu? Yes, and be careful." Issei just gives him a smile and goes back to the place. While he was running he ran into a tall guy. But what does a human do on the battlefield? "Issei. I'm tired of hearing that, but it's normal." Letting out a sigh. The man without understanding extends his fist to him and when he was about to give it to Issei, he just takes your hand. With great force until he breaks her hand completely, making him scream in pain. "How the hell do you have so much strength?" Trying to get loose. Issei did not respond, so he gave him a big blow that sent him flying. As he flew out, he passed close to Cao Cao. When he saw him, he was a little surprised. "Cao Cao. What was that?" At that he turns around and sees his partner embedded and unconscious. "Cao Cao. Heracles, like hell, you ended up there." At that he looks for the person and his gaze falls on Issei. "Cao Cao. It's impossible." Then someone tries to kill him while he is unprepared from behind with a katana. "Cao Cao. Attack from behind, that's a very dirty move." "Asami. Shut up, damn." At that point they both start fighting. Issei was going to go too, but someone stops him again. "Issei. I have bad luck today." "Don't worry, today I'll put an end to that bad luck of yours so you can rest in peace." Well, he showed him many swords on his back. Issei. "No thanks, I still have things to do." "Well, what does it matter in that?" He goes on the attack. Issei manages to dodge a sword, using his other hand to stop another, and by doing so with his strength, he destroys it into pieces. When the person sees this, he makes a big jump, being surprised. "How did you do that? These swords are very powerful." Issei. "Lucky maybe." At that point, at high speed, the boyfriend hit him in the face, leaving him unconscious. Issei decides to go with Cao Cao since he saw his sister already in the last moments when he was a little close, he spoke. Issei. "Hey, don't go doing such a stupid thing." Cao Cao. "Since if you're still alive you should have been the first to die." Issei. "I don't know. But let's finish this quickly, I have to go help a friend too." Cao Cao. "You are going to stop me, I am a bearer of true longiness and leader of the hero faction." Issei. "You call yourself heroes and look at the disaster you caused by trying to kill someone's mother." Cao Cao. "Everything has a sacrifice and that would be her. So everyone will see that humans are on top too." Issei. "That's a stupid idea doing such things." Cao Cao. "You being a human say that you should better support. Instead you are with those demons." Issei. "I have friends there. And even if I am human, I will help whoever is not like you who uses power for evil." Cao Cao. "And you think you can face me? I have the spear that killed God himself." Issei. "If I don't try, I don't know what will happen." And that Issei goes against him at great speed. Cao Cao was surprised by such speed, he barely managed to defend himself using his spear as a shield, but it only sent him flying away. He landed with difficulty. When he did so, he got angry and went to attack as well. Cao Cao. "You have good strength." Issei. "Train." At that Cao Cao tried to hurt him, but Issei managed to avoid each blow with a spear. Issei also tried to give him some blows, but Cao managed to stop them with a spear, but when doing so his hands shook as Issei used force in his blows. Cao. Let's stop playing games. Creating a large fear of power from his spear, and when he finished he threw it at Issei. He just stood there, and when he was about to arrive, he gave him a big blow, completely destroying it. Cao, seeing that, had his eyes wide, he didn't know what had happened. Cao. What are you? Issei. You know I've heard that word all day, but I'll just say I'm a human like you say. Cao. You lie, a human can't do that. Issei. Believe what you want. Cao, angry, makes a big jump and tries to hit him with his fist, but Issei does the same as volley. It destroyed his arm and hit him in the stomach, sending him flying. As he fell he gave a great cry of pain. At that point his group approached him, and when they saw him they were surprised. By then Son Goku had already arrived and was shocked to see such demonstrations by Issei. And they had already rescued the leader. Yakai Kanu was with her. At that point one of his companions gave him a phoenix tear and he managed to heal and stood up. Cao. What's your name? Issei. Issei. Cao. Next time you won't be so lucky, Issei, I'll take revenge. Issei. I hope I never see you or your group. If I see you again I will have no mercy. Cao, all angry at such words, left the place. Issei just let out a big sigh and decided to go with the rest. Chapter 25. Issei started walking. After a few seconds he arrived with the rest. He still saw Arena passed out. Issei. Kanu, how is your mother? Kanu. Very good, he just lacks energy, but by tomorrow he will be fine. And thank you. She approached him and kissed him on the cheek. Issei. No problem. Son Goku. Boy, you did a great job. But how do you have such strength? Issei. Train, sir, that's all I can say. Son Goku. I see. The leaders are coming so I can leave in peace. Issei. Have a good trip. Son Goku just nods and sees his dragon. When the two leaders arrived they saw most of them injured or unconscious, but when they saw Issei, they noticed that she didn't have many injuries. Serafal. Issei, I see that you are fine. Issei. Yes, it was a somewhat difficult battle to be honest, but in the end we won. Azazel. You were the only one with few injuries. Issei. Well, when I arrived they were already fighting so I didn't do much. But we have to lead them to a better fight, they don't believe. Azazel. Sure, you can go back to the hotel, we'll take care of it. Issei. I will help, and Arena is unconscious, I must take care of her. Serafal. Okay then let's do this quickly. They both just nod and one by one they begin to arrive at the castle since Kanu insisted that they be there to rest. The next morning most were waking up, some still sore. When Arena woke up, the first thing she saw was Issei. Issei. How do you feel? Arena. Good, although this reminds me of the time we met again. Issei. Sure. And you feel good? Arena. If there weren't many injuries. Plus, that woman was strong, she quickly beat me. Issei. I could tell since I fought with her a little. Arena. And you won, no. Issei. Yes, but it was a little difficult. But in the end we achieved what we wanted. Arena. That's great. Issei. If you want, I'll bring you breakfast, or you want to go to the dining room. Arena. I'd better go so I get up from here, I don't like being in bed. Issei. Good. Arena gets out of bed and they both begin to walk towards the large dining room where they see some of the Citri entourage and Zenobia. Arena approaches her and Issei goes to greet Kanu. Issei. Kanu, and how is your mother? Kanu. Well, thanks for asking. Right now he is with leaders making an alliance. She wants to meet you. Issei. Because. Kanu. He wants to thank you. Issei. But I didn't do much. Kanu. I know, she already did it with the rest, only you and Arena are missing, but she's busy so follow me. Getting up from the place and both start walking until they reach an office. Kanu. Mom, I want to introduce you to Issei. Just then Issei enters the room. Issei. My pleasure. Yusaka. I say the same thing, I wanted to thank you for saving me. My name is Yusaka, you can call me that. Issei. It's okay Yusaka. And no problem, I'm just helping a friend. Yusaka. If you want something just say it. Issei. I don't need anything and thank you for saying so. Yusaka. Kanu showed me a video of your fight. You're very good. Issei. Thanks for the compliment. Serafal. You did it very well, but that last blow even hurt me because you broke it. Issei. Well, he was coming at great speed and I used it against him. Azazel. Hey Issei, how serious you were in that fight. She said it a little seriously and the rest looked at Issei. Issei started thinking at that moment. Issei. They were very strong, plus their leader. Serafal. When I saw that that great sphere of power was going to give you the video, I was scared. How did you do something so reckless? Issei. I wanted to try something new haha. Serafal. Stop doing such things, you worry me. Issei. I'm sorry. Well, he rubbed his head and the others just watched in amazement. Azazel. You guys have a good relationship. Seraphol. Of course Issei is a great person. Azazel. It's the first time I've seen you with a man other than the other mass. Seraphol. Well, the men I've seen before are only looking for fame and Issei, well, he's only looking for friendship. Azazel. I see. Kanu. Issei and when they return to their city. Issei. I don't know. Azazel. In 2 days. Kanu. Great. So I show you some places. Issei. It will be a pleasure. Azazel Odin told you something. Azazel. This morning he called me and well you will have to leave tomorrow. Roswisi will take you to Asgard. Seraphol. What are you talking about? Issei, what are you going to do in Asgard? Issei. I thought you knew that. Azazel. Only Surzich knew about the rush, I'm sorry. Seraphol. I see but tell me. Issei. Odin asked me to help him fight an army of frost giants alongside his army. Seraphol. But those giants are very powerful. I know you are strong, but they are more. Issei. I know but I promised so I have to go. Seraphol. I'll go with you. Those in the room were surprised to hear that. Issei. That would be impossible. You are a Mayu, you must be busy with your work. Seraphol. It doesn't matter, I can't let you go to that place alone. Issei. But there will be Odin's army. Seraphol. I'll still go. Issei. Azazel. Azazel. Ami, don't get me into that. Issei. You won't get into trouble. Seraphol. Of course not and if anyone tries to say something he will know the consequences. Issei. Okay. At that Seraphol began to jump for joy since he had achieved it. Issei. I think only today will we be able to go out to see the Kanu places so we have to take advantage. Kanu. Okay. Let's go from now on. Kanu almost drags Issei away to seize the day. Isaka. I didn't expect you to have such a difficult mission. Azazel. Odin asked him for help a long time ago and he readily accepted. Isaka. He thinks he's doing well. Seraphol. Of course he will. Isaka. I see I wish you luck then. He is a good person. Meanwhile somewhere else. Lefay. So you already talked to Issei. Office. Yes, I was there and he spoke to me out of nowhere. Lefay. I see. He's not a good person. Office. Yes. Lefay. I hope to see it one day. But these missions we do I hardly have the time to go see him. Office. You're interested. Lefay. A little. Office. I see. Then someone else arrives. Kuroka. Hey, don't leave me alone with those kids, it's boring. Lefay. We forgot. Kuroka. You're bad Lefay. It has changed a lot. Lefay. I feel the same way. Kuroka. I better not say anything and well what were they talking about? Office. From Issei. Kuroka. That does interest me that time I saw it. I was surprised how he defeated Vali easily. Office. They fought again. Lefay. No, I was talking to Issei and out of nowhere Vali attacked him and when I saw Issei get up again I tried to hit him but Issei only raised his fist and broke Vali's entire arm and hit him in the stomach. Kuroka. The truth is that I was very surprised, he did it very quickly. I'm even afraid to fight with him. Office. Interesting. Lefay. Don't go fight with him. You must be stronger than him. Office. And if it is the opposite? You already know that Vali is a strong person and that he can be defeated that easily. Kuroka. Office makes a good point. What level is Issei at right now? Lefay. I don't want to know and I hope you never fight with him. Office. Talbs, I don't know. Lefay. Let's better change the subject. Kuroka. Good and tell me when you are going to confess. Since I will do it too, I just don't know when. Lefay. You barely know him. And he is not like other men who focus on the physique you know. So don't try to seduce him. Kuroka. Well it will be the old-fashioned way. Lefay. I better not say anything. He got up and left the place and didn't want to continue talking about it. Meanwhile, Issei, Kanu and Irina had a great time all day and went to different places. They went to eat at a good restaurant and in the evening Kanu invited them to have dinner in the castle with the leaders. In the end they stayed the night too. And it was a new day and Issei and Seraphol were at the station ready to leave back to the city. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.